Sorry about that. We have a guest host this morning, and Mark Butler. I've been helping him into his chair. He's there now. Good morning, Mark Butler.
Good morning, Bill.
Well, good morning. Wow. I got to tell you, the following politics, it is really something to follow, and I'm going to warn you, I can find fault on both sides. And there's a lot of it to get into, and we will today. We will speak with John Manion, who had it out on the House floor with Representative Congressman Lawler. And Lawler's response was also quite biting, by the way. He issued a response and ended his by saying, "And F you." So it's a battle there. I just, the only thing I'm going to say negative on Trump, because I don't want to get everybody all negative today.
Go easy.
It could get Mark Butler really upset. But this whole belief that the day I come in, the world will be afraid, they're all going to do as I say, that ain't happening. It isn't happening in Russia. It is not happening in Iran. It is not happening in Israel. Everything, and by the way, we're trying to cut a nuclear deal.
How about in Los Angeles?
And
is it happening there?
Well, and I very much am against what's going on there on both sides. Yeah. But here's the very. I mean, we've been working. He's working on a deal which we seem to be close, a nuclear deal with Israel. And last night, you have nuclear deal with Iran, and last night you have Israel taking out their nuclear facilities. So this is a tense moment in the world.
So are you laying that at Trump's feet?
Yes, he's the one that said it wouldn't happen under him, and it's happening. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's. You can't say on day one all these things are going to happen the moment I'm there because they'll be afraid of me, and none of that has happened yet. So to be fair, if you're a true supporter of America, you should be able to see negative and positive in all of our representatives. Now, let's talk about what's happening, and you mentioned this, the Democratic strategy against Trump seems to be, I'll let you
to be more macho, to reach out for younger men.
Kind of like Mark Butlery.
I reach out to him.
Yes. But you're right. I think there is a.
Well, Tim Waltz. I mean, geez, he's gone off the deep end.
Well, he's the reason they've decided, man, we got to get macho because this guy ain't it. So you have yesterday the senator. Going in and I got to tell you, you have a Democrat. I'll get the names and when we speak with Ryan Schmelz coming up in a second. But you have a Democrat who's coming out and saying this theatrics is not good for. And number one, we shouldn't be taking out a U.S. senator in handcuffs. Should not happen. It should not happen. And bear with me, It should not happen in America, and it shouldn't be happening. However, if you really dig into this, he came in without his identification. He began yelling and shouting. What is security supposed to think when someone is trying to push through, shout out questions? You think it's a protest, and you take them down. Once they say they realized he was a U.S. senator, he was allowed up, and later ended up meeting with Noam. And here's the thing with that. He could have met with her, as she said. He could have met with her anyway, unless that meeting would not have included cameras. So it's theatrics. It's these theatrics. And as I said, you have a Democrat, I believe, from Maine who came out and said this is not the way this is supposed to work.
Yeah.
Critical of his own party.
Well, I have to say, when you went into your rant last Tuesday, I thought we might have to take you out of here in handcuffs.
You were getting nervous.
We were going to call the cops, but you backed off.
I noticed you had little sweat beads forming on your forehead. And you came back. I can't even believe it.
No.
So we have all of that to talk about, and no matter where you are, we'll speak with Ryan Schmelz on it coming up, including the Doge cuts put to the test in a House vote. And we'll do that. Willie Waffle is coming up. I also think today is going to be a very big day. By the way, tomorrow expect a lot of protests, really from both sides. I would expect we'll be looking at. I know Zeka's group, who did not come on with us yesterday, they're going to be planning counter protests. But you have the No Kings protests that are going on throughout the state and throughout the country tomorrow. It'll be interesting to watch all of that. Big news for Tom Highland and Utica Mack truck, already able to sell gasoline vehicles after President Trump signed a bill into law yesterday in California. I know I have to go to Ryan Schmelz quickly here because he's tight on time, as always. Ryan Schmelz, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Triskaidekaphobia.
Triskaidekaphobia or something like that, yeah. Okay, let's start with this, and then I want to get into to our congressman here. Doge cuts put to the test in the House vote for the first time in 3 decades. Lawmakers have voted to claw back money already appropriated. This involves, what, NPR and what else? What do we know, Ryan?
NPR, PBS, and you also have USAID and some other foreign aid there, too. So the majority of it was foreign aid. The rest of it was PBS and NPR and other public broadcasting.
Now, this is going to be very interesting to see what the Senate does. We'll watch that very carefully. The other thing is, I don't know if you followed along the theatrics, as my co-host calls it today, and probably quite accurately. On the the FBI headquarters with the senator, U.S. senator, and then on the floor between our Congressman John Manion and Congressman Lawler. The F-ridden, I mean, a lot of F words being dropped, and we'll be speaking with John Manion later this morning. It does seem, Ryan, that the Democrats' decision is to go after this aggressively, go after Trump aggressively, and boy, we saw some of that yesterday.
Yeah, well, what time is that interview?
He will be on at 7:15. It's going to be and I think it's his first interview that he's done since interviewing Lawler on the floor yesterday.
Since being let out in handcuffs.
Yes, yeah.
I have that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen him make any public comments since then either. So obviously you have Lawler make a pretty stern statement on Twitter after that was all over.
He did, yeah.
But he told him to F off and said that he needs to seek help. I actually pull up the tweet right now.
Well, and it's interesting because during the campaign, Manion there was a former staffer that came out and said that it was a toxic environment. By the Democratic investigation, that was deemed to be not true, but it was a Democratic investigation. So Lawler used that in his response, which I thought was.
I got it pulled up here. John Manion was entirely unhinged and unprofessional. That was a shameful display that exposed his complete lack of temperament. No wonder numerous staffers have previously alleged a toxic work environment. He should go seek help for anger management and F off.
And he followed it up with an F off. Now, what is interesting is Lawler is really a moderate member of Congress.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is there were reporters around, but this was off C-SPAN cameras. But you could kind of you could hear the audio and get a transcript of it. So.
Yeah, because the reporters are not allowed to film in that room. Pretty much, you have the C-SPAN cameras, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's like it was just like the members of the press could pretty much watch it from the gallery, and that's about it.
Yeah. Well, it will be. This seems to be the new strategy, as opposed to, I guess, sitting back and being polite. I don't know how. I'm not sure they've been overly polite.
No, I don't think so.
This is the new strategy, so we'll speak with Manion on that. But it does seem, I have to say that Manion, up to this point, to the last time maybe that we spoke with him, I think I had him on last week. He was very, very 2 weeks ago. He was on Monday. Okay, well, we had him this Monday. Before, Ryan, he's been very careful, had been very careful about speaking about Trump, being that, we're going to work with it. We have to work with the administration. We have to work with the former president. But now it's, I think with everything going on in L.A. and the troops on the ground, if you will, the decision has been made to all out criticize. And it is a district that leans somewhat Democrat, but not that much in the 22nd.
I will see how that plays. I mean, look, I think Democrats feel that the poll numbers show that President Trump's approval numbers are not very high. So in many ways, I think some feel that gives them the green light to go all in on Trump and attack him at every corner, and that's not going to hurt them politically. So, I mean, we'll see how that ultimately lands within the next year or so when we get to the midterms. But, yeah, right now I think Democrats are eyeing some of those poll numbers and think that's an invitation to pretty much say whatever they want.
Yeah.
Well, but, Brian, I think the question is, how does government operate if we're just going to be battling back and forth? I mean, things are
gonna. He has a hard out, which I have to get to, Ryan, and I'm going to respect that going into the weekend. You have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk next week. Thank you.
Hey, sounds good, boys. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ryan Schmelz.
You shut me right up, didn't you?
I'm not shutting you up. I'm just saying that he had to be out. Yeah. But I'm. I think we're there. Here's another area where I'm critical of Trump, and you should be too. We're now backing away from yesterday the president announced we are now looking at backing away from rounding up illegal immigrants who work on farms and hotels. What about the construction industry? What about many of these people that have been taken are people who are working every day in the country. And all of a sudden, the president is getting pushback from farmers and agriculture, saying that, you're taking away 40% of our workforce. Where are we going here? You're going to have a shortage. We're not going to be able to produce. This is another example of willy-nilly. Let's throw the tariffs out, and Trump has got to walk it back. So what's next? He's saying hospitality and farming right now. What's next? Is it going to be construction? Because let me tell you, in Texas, in those border states, you don't get a house built. You don't get anything built without the help of oftentimes undocumented immigrants, which is how they're able to keep the price of construction down so low. So is that next? What's next? And this is, again, going out and carte blanche saying we're going to go get everybody, and now we got to backtrack.
I don't think that
was
the intention, Cart.
In the beginning, it was
legal migrants that are here legally that are doing them.
Most of these are not legal, though. Most of those have overstayed their visas. So the fact is, though, that we were only going after the murderers and the bad people and the rapists.
Yes.
Then we've expanded to everybody. If you're here illegally, you're illegal. Now we're going to get everybody. Well, now we're backtracking. So it's yet another backtrack. The Chinese tariff is another backtrack. That deal isn't as great. It's a backtrack and a fix for us. So it's fair, in my opinion. If you're going to criticize Democrats, you got to look at what this administration is doing and the backtracking that is coming from Trump and all of those things that were promised that aren't happening. And that's real.
I think we better call the Utica police in here and take you out in handcuffs.
You're coming at me. Listen, I didn't drop an F-bomb once on you. I didn't drop it once. But I'm not sure that the answer, by the way, for Democrats is this storming into a press conference, or I'm not sure that this is the answer. There's enough facts out there where you can go with those facts and fight with facts.
But the politics of it, I mean, opening our borders and letting all these people come across, it's changed the balance of politics. There have been redistricting, new districts created. It's, I believe, an effort to solidify the Democratic hold on power.
You keep that argument. I like it.
Wait a minute.
You keep running with that one.
The
I like
cops
it.
are knocking on the door.
I like that one. We're going to bring in Willie Waffle. We'll get off this, I promise. But this morning, John Manion is on, and we're going to get his take. Is this the right move to combat President Trump? Is this the way I guess Democrats want it. What about the people in the 22nd? This, while it leans Democrat, it's not all Democrat. And Trump has done very well up here. We have a Bubba's free money question of the day. I also am going to get into a little Syracuse that's relevant today. And that does include Manion, I guess. But this is going to be very interesting, I think, for you, Mr. Butler.
I'll be listening.
And I do like
Great.
that shirt. It's got stars all over it. It says so much about you.
It was an early Father's Day present.
I do like it.
Well, thank you very much.
Today on the radio, Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon. This is Davey's been at work overtime here, and this is big because with everything happening with Micron. In fact, Micron just yesterday announcing it's investing even more in their chip fab and chip production, all a part of President Trump manufacture in the United States, and Micron is ramping up their production. In their planned production in this huge, enormous facility that's being planned for clay in Onondaga County. So we'll speak with Ryan McMahon because that is going to mean a lot for us. This facility will be so large. There will be a lot of feeder businesses that will help support that, including maybe this helps Wolfspeed. Maybe this is a lifeline for Wolfspeed. So we'll speak with Ryan McMahon. After that, we'll talk to County Executive Anthony Pacenti, who will be in studio.
Oh.
So there's a lot going on here today.
Oh, I came on a good day.
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
You did.
yes.
Nice and tight on that microphone.
A good day.
Davey, nice job. Good stuff, man. But let's start with a little entertainment, if we can. Oh, and there's drama in the town of New Hartford. I got to get into this one. Drama, and apparently one of the, and I don't know all the names. I haven't really followed this, but you have the town supervisor, Michonne, who, by the way, maybe you ought to try to get him on. Andrew was never able to get him booked, Davey. So there's your challenge. Michonne will not come on this show. I don't know why. I've never talked to him on the air. We've asked and requested several times. Anyway, he put out a release yesterday. Apparently, the two people running for town clerk in the town of New Hartford at Willowvale, they held apparently a game of chance fundraiser for one of the candidates, and the prizes included alcohol.
Uh-oh.
So apparently this is illegal, and someone turned them in. The state stepped in and said, you're not supposed to do this. And now Michonne has put out a very long, I feel it's kind of like the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence, a very dramatic document that he put out yesterday saying this will, and I'll read it for you.
Okay.
Coming up, this is not going to happen in the town of New Hartford. So he's coming out and denouncing this. Is it possible the town of New Hartford has a controversial town clerk race on its hands? We'll
what
get into that
next?
Too. What could be next?
It's
the village of Newport. It could be. And by the way, for those who don't know, Mark Butler, former member of the Assembly, a former OD reporter, and
former county legislator,
a grandfather, and now the mayor of Newport, New York.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a property owner in the city of New York. Or city of Utica.
He owns property in the city of Utica. He owns the, that broken down building, the Ovalston. He owned that. He was an absent. No, that's not true. Yes, Davey.
And he just happens to be a Buffalo Bills fan, just like me and you.
He's an enormous Bills fan.
That's right.
Okay, we just got off to a hell of a start. Can we bump news? Willie Waffle coming right up here at WIBX. I don't know how you want me to do that. Or do we just do it? Let's just do it. We'll come right back with Willie Waffle.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. Yorkville police are investigating a death involving a pedestrian and a train. The accident happened shortly before 11 a.m. yesterday, and authorities received reports of a pedestrian struck by a train by Fairview Avenue. The train came to an immediate stop, and the pedestrian was declared deceased. The railway tracks were closed for an investigation and reopened about 2 hours later. Yorkville police are withholding the deceased identity pending notifying next of kin. Yorkville police are determining if the pedestrian died by suicide or if this was a terrible accident. Herkimer County's Humane Society is caring for 5 neglected dogs that were found during a barn foreclosing. The dogs were left without heat or ventilation, living on concrete, and were surrounded by feces. The dogs also had matted fur, and one appeared to have a tumor. Due to their conditions, money is needed to effectively treat them. Herkimer Humane Society is asking the public for donations and have so far raised about $4,000 through their website. A Long Island elementary school nurse has been reassigned after wearing a jacket with the word ICE on the back of the school's Superhero Day. The Amityville Union Free School District in Suffolk County confirmed the move in a statement, saying the staffer had an acronym on their clothing that was perceived by some as offensive or inappropriate in the educational setting. The president of the local Teachers Association told Newsday the nurse at Northwest Elementary School, which is a K-2 building, had the acronym ICE on their jacket Wednesday, adding she was shocked by the nurse's clothing. The nurse is now working in a non-school setting. And today is Friday the 13th, and that terrifies millions of people across the country who have a paralyzing dread of the day. Some won't go to work today, some won't eat in restaurants, and many would never plan their wedding for Friday the 13th. No one is exactly sure what the legend of Friday the 13th began, though researchers feel the superstition is very old. Folklore experts say it's the combination of Friday and 13, as both the day and the number have historically been connected to bad luck. You could read more about this on WIBX950.com. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
We may squeak out another dry day today. We're starting to see the clouds increase. A cool morning. This afternoon, partial sunshine, 73. Now, change coming in tonight. A few showers after midnight, mid-50s. North Country, a little cooler. Saturday, mainly cloudy. Just a few showers, not a washout, 70 degrees. Sunday, a chance of showers, 72. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, we are right now with some overcast skies, would you say? And if you heard Ray, we're going to get some rain, but it's probably not going to be a complete washout this weekend. Let's cross our fingers. Right now, we have some clouds, and 52. Willie Waffle is next on WIBX.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app with over 16 million subscriptions sold? Well, we thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. She's an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face, listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent?
Precio.
Keith's a real people person and a curious learner, so he loves Babbel's Culture Bites, full of insights and native knowledge about the language he's learning. Like, what's served for Christmas dinner in Germany?
Glühwein, Weihnachtsgans und Christmasstollen.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit bmecompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Now through June 30th, get up to $120 off 4 new Bridgestone or Firestone tires instantly at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair Centers. Whether you're in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, or Herkimer, their team of professionals are ready to serve you. Schedule your appointment today online at tallmanstire.com. Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Get the best tires for your vehicle at unbeatable prices guaranteed. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See store for details.
Ferris commercial mowers set the bar with racing-inspired patented full suspension and integrated cutting decks so you can go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Ferris experienced suspension. Take advantage of the best financing and prices of the year. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power in power equipment. White's Farm Supply. Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
I have to say, I did find it very interesting yesterday. After Manion, Mark Butler is in here this morning. Despite what he tells everybody, we are good friends. And I found it very interesting.
Who's good friends? You and me?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Boy.
I've heard about
Jeez.
it. So I heard from people yesterday. You got to look at this thing on Manion. It was Manion on the floor of the House going after Lawler. It's really something. And I heard from two groups of people. Group one is F this, F that. He went crazy on the floor. And then I heard others saying it's about time somebody stands up. So this supports your take on all of this, so that when the midterms come, if they do lose, nothing will be done for 2 years.
I think you're exactly right.
On the line right now, here's a man that lived in politics, and he has just left that world. Very much like Mark Butler. Willie Waffle. Good morning, Willie.
Ran away kicking and screaming, baby. Get me out of here.
I am done
Ditto.
with this.
Ditto.
And boy, what a time. It is crazier now than ever. So it is what it is. All right, Willie. So let's see. What do we want to start with? Let's start with anything in theaters. Anything going on? There's a couple maybe worth looking at in theaters.
Well, I mean, yeah, you've got a couple of movies in theaters. I mean, the big one is going to be the live action remake of How to Train Your Dragon. You know, the animated film that has really been DreamWorks' biggest hit next to the Minions. You know, and they've decided, just like Disney, we can cash in too. So yes. They are making a live-action version. You know, we've got good old Little Hiccup, now played by Mason Thames. He's a Viking. He's supposed to learn how to kill dragons, and instead he takes one as a pet and wants to teach the rest of the Vikings that the dragons are okay, man. They can be our friends. You know. Listen, it's pretty close to the original story. It's pretty close to the same script. It's pretty close to the same plot. It's not like Snow White where they blew everything up thinking we have to modernize it. Granted, you know, this animated film came out in 2010. While things have changed, they haven't changed that much. You know, so you've got kind of the action scenes that you liked if you saw the first one. You've got the interaction between the dragon and the kid that you liked if you saw the first one and you liked it. So I'm at like 2.5 waffles. Kind of charming, but never really all that thrilling, never really all that sarcastic, never really kind of appealing to adults, if you ask me. Yeah.
And then I got to say, Dakota Johnson has been out doing the promotion for all of her for her movie. It's Materialist. Is that what's in theaters right now?
Yep. The Materialist.
Did you see the outfit that she wore on Jimmy Fallon?
I thought.
Or what she didn't wear on Jimmy Fallon. Holy moly. That was.
Yeah, I think Dakota, she has come to realize that she can be very outrageous and get a lot of attention and won't stop.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like, and what I thought was kind of interesting is there she is, and she's like covering herself up. She said, I can't believe I wore this. And well, you know what you wore, for God's sakes, right? And you know
exactly.
that every guy, even every woman on the planet's looking like, wow, look at that. And,
and she usually has a good sense of humor about that. Like, I've seen her in situations like that before where she's like, well, anybody who's seen 50 Shades of Grey has seen all this. So what am I hiding?
That's right. Yeah. What do you think of Materialists?
A decent movie, not a funny movie, not a rom-com, more of an examination of how much dating in this world stinks. It stinks hard, okay? And she plays this matchmaker down in New York City. She's torn between kind of her old flame, played by Chris Evans, who's a wannabe actor who doesn't have any money, and her new flame, Pedro Pascal, who has all the money in the world, and he's gorgeous, and he's charming, and he's the woman he's the man every woman wants. And of course, she has to wonder, is she really with him for all the right reasons? And there's a lot of commentary here in the movie about just, people aren't looking for love anymore. They're looking for somebody to check the boxes. All the guys want young gals who are hot and tasty. All the old men want, or all the women want, rich men who are tall and have tons of money so they don't have to work anymore. And it makes you walk out just feeling filthy about the dating scene. I'm not going to lie. And there's a little glimmer of hope as she goes through her little journey. It's a plot that moves very simply. I think the dialogue tries a little bit too hard at times, but I'm at 2.5 waffles. It's a decent enough movie.
Right. Okay.
I'll tell you, it's not as good as something that I saw last night that I wanted to bring up. If you're in the mood, if you want to talk about something more funny, something with a lot more action, we're talking about Deep Cover on Amazon Prime Video.
Deep Cover. Okay, I've not seen that yet.
Deep Cover.
Okay.
All right, so this is Dallas Bryce Howard as this acting and improv teacher whose career is going nowhere. And she runs a little improv class, and she gets approached by the police in London asking her, hey, would you get a couple of your students and do a sting for us? So she selects Nick Muhammad, who's a very shy IT guy who's invisible to the world, and Orlando Bloom, who is a method actor who takes everything way too seriously. And as they get involved in this sting, they start getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the London underworld and crime world. And all of a sudden, they're in more danger than they ever imagined. And this movie is so darn funny. Okay, Orlando Bloom steals the show as this guy who thinks he's Robert De Niro and Al Pacino all wrapped into one, who's just going crazy and getting them in so much danger that you just can't stop laughing. And they just keep falling and failing into even bigger success as they get deeper and deeper into the crime world. I'm at like 3.5.
Wow.
Oh. I think it's really funny.
All right.
Really funny.
What is it called again?
It's called Deep Cover.
Deep Cover. All right. Amazon Prime. Okay. Yep. All right, Willie. And then Wizard of Oz in the Sphere in Vegas. They're going to be releasing the actual original movie that has vibrating seats, and it's a 360-degree view. It's going to be really something. I think that'll be pretty cool to watch.
I think it's going to be awesome. I mean, I think this is what the Sphere was built for, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have like environmental effects. They're going to have, they're going to pump in, smells to make you feel like you're right in the middle of the tornado, or you're right in the middle of Emerald City. That just to me sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that will begin in the fall, right?
Yeah, that's going to begin in late August, I think like the week before Labor Day.
All right, Willie, good stuff. You have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk again next week. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, Willie Waffle. And that'll be pretty neat, the Wizard of Oz thing.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, listen, lead in the home. This can be very horrible for children. 3.5% of children under the age of 6 have elevated blood levels of lead. That's really not good. And Utica has 3.5 times the state average. So there is a way to fix this, and there's a way to get help. And you can go to the Utica Project, which makes Utica lead-free. And I grabbed the wrong piece of copy. So I'll do that on the other side. We have news coming up.
Looking for a reliable ride without the brand new price tag? Come to Steed Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer and check out our huge selection of Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicles. Virtually all makes and models, all backed by a certified warranty and low financing options. Right now, qualified buyers get rates as low as 3.9% for 36 months on popular models like the Chevy Equinox, Trailblazer, Traverse, and Malibu. Take the stress out of car shopping and receive the buying experience you deserve from your local family-owned dealership. You'll drive with confidence in a Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicle from Steed Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer. But hurry, these deals won't last. You must take delivery by June 30th. Together, let's drive to Steed Pawnee Chevrolet, State Route 28 in Herkimer, or online anytime at SteedPawneeChevy.com. All taxes and fees additional. Customer must qualify for top-tier credit through GM Financial. See salesperson for details.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
518-554-0000, 100 Great Oaks, Albany.
Are you at the point where you are just feeling stuck with your health and fitness journey and you don't know where or how to begin? Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Bootcamp, and I can help you focus on a solution instead of the problem. At Fit Body Bootcamp in Whitesboro and Clinton, we will help you by providing fat-burning 30-minute workouts and an effective nutrition program. Your time is now. Come join us where we inspire fitness and change lives. And remember, you're just one phone call away from living your best life.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295EI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
This is a Fox News alert. President Trump reacts to Israel's attack on Iran. I'm Dave Anthony, and he's urging Iran to make a deal before there's nothing left, he wrote in a Truth Social post about an hour ago. The president says things will only get worse, and he gave Iran chance after chance to make a nuclear deal, but in recent talks, Iran refused to stop enriching uranium. Now, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says,
"We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program."
Israel also killed some scientists and military leaders, including the general in charge of Iran's Revolutionary Guard and the general who was chief of staff of Iran's armed forces, and Israel's not done.
There are new strikes underway just minutes ago in Iran.
Fox's Alex Hogan has more on the Israeli operation from Tel Aviv.
According to Israeli officials, it was carried out in 3 phases this morning. It included Mossad commando units smuggling drones deep into the country long before the attack and activating them this morning to hit Iran's surface-to-air missiles. At the same time, the Israeli military deployed 200 aircraft, mainly fighter jets, to target roughly 100 targets in Iran. And today, the Israeli military says it's also destroyed dozens of radar installations.
Now, Iran's supreme leader called Israel satanic and vowed severe punishment in retaliation. Iran has been launching drones that Israel's working to shoot down, and Israel has closed its embassies worldwide. Back to President Trump. He also posted this morning a thank you to the appeals court that blocked a judge's order to stop his deploying National Guard troops to Los Angeles to deal with protests. The judge in that ruling said the president exceeded his authority. The Trump post today counters that he saved L.A. In India, they found one of the black box recorders trying to figure out why this happened.
Shortly after takeoff, the plane full of fuel issued a Mayday warning. It reached 600 feet and then descended into a residential area, crashing in flames.
241 passengers and crew were killed. One miraculously walked away telling Indian TV he still can't believe he's alive. America's listening to Fox News.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/policy. That's ethos.com/policy.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
There was a lot of drama yesterday around the illegal immigration raids and the response to the protests in Los Angeles that have spread to other cities. At a news conference with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, a Democrat interrupted Senator Alex Padilla.
I began to ask a question. I was almost immediately forcibly removed from the room. I was forced to the ground. And I was handcuffed.
That angered other Democrats, but Noem says
this man burst into the room, started lunging towards the podium, interrupting me and elevating his voice, and was stopped, did not identify himself, and was removed from the room.
Now, Padilla says he did identify himself. Noem says she and the senator did meet afterward, and the charges are not expected against Senator Padilla. That happened after a contentious House hearing.
Republicans unloaded on Democratic governors of so-called sanctuary states of Minnesota, Illinois, and New York.
You prioritize putting illegals first.
That is not
rapes
true.
of young girls, beatings of NYPD cops.
You do violate the law. You are sanctuary cities.
New York Rep. Elise Stefanik and Arizona Rep. Andy Biggs over sanctuary policies, as Massachusetts Rep. Stephen Lynch and all other Democrats during the House committee hearing focused on President Trump.
Trump isn't trying to protect us. He's trying to divide us.
The president on Truth Social on deportations writes in part that saving America is non-negotiable. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
On Wall Street, there could be a sell-off reacting to Israel's attack on Iran. Dow futures down nearly 500 points. An overtime thriller in the battle for Hockey Stanley Cup. Leon Draisaitl won the game for the Edmonton Oilers in overtime on TNT, 5-4 over the Florida Panthers, tying the series at 2 games apiece. Draisaitl also won game 1 with an OT score. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. An Oriskany Falls man was arrested on drug and resisting arrest charges. According to the Oneida County Sheriff's Office, a deputy pulled over Kenneth Thurston, who exited his vehicle and fled on foot. The deputy was able to apprehend Thurston by deploying his taser. However, Thurston continued to fight, and a Good Samaritan helped the deputy place Thurston in handcuffs. The deputy searched his vehicle and found about 14 grams of methamphetamine in there. Thurston was charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance, resisting arrest, obstruction of governmental administration, and numerous traffic and vehicle violations. He was released on his own recognizance and is due back in Town of Augusta Court at a later date. Utica's Forest Hill Cemetery is turning 175. To celebrate the milestone, the landmark is hosting a community scavenger hunt tomorrow. The cemetery will also be holding a fundraiser to preserve the chapel on the historic grounds. The scavenger hunt will be held from 4 to 8 p.m., where the public can enjoy a self-guided tour of the grounds and find notable grave sites and the famous individuals buried there. The first 100 people to complete the scavenger hunt will receive a prize. A suggested donation of $18.50 per adult will go to help restore Child's Chapel. A new study shows almost everyone who wears a smartwatch to track activities is willing to share the data with a doctor to improve their health. The study shows 94% of people are okay with data sharing, and that nearly half already have shared their data. Researchers noted in the survey that about 4 in 10 adults wear a smartwatch, which could lead to more personal health care by reviewing the data on the watch. The study involved hundreds of people, with the majority from the U.S. And the Trump administration is moving to overturn a Biden-era climate and pollution rules for power plants. According to EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, the agency is proposing to undo rules that would have prevented 1.4 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions between the years 2038 and 2047. Biden-era projections suggest that is equivalent to taking more than 300 million gas-powered cars off the road for a year. The move comes as the Trump administration looks to promote a fossil-fueled future. Your WIBX News Time is 7:07. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
We may squeak out another dry day today. We're starting to see the clouds increase. A cool morning. This afternoon, partial sunshine, 73. Now, change coming in tonight. A few showers after midnight, mid-50s. North Country, a little cooler. Saturday, mainly cloudy. Just a few showers. Not a washout, 70 degrees. Sunday, a chance of showers, 72. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijik at the Weather Channel, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently 54 degrees under cloudy skies. Let's take a look at sports. Brought to you by the IBEW 43 Local Sports Desk. The NBA Finals are set, resuming tonight. The Indiana Pacers hosting Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 4. The Pacers host a 2-1 series advantage following a 116-107 victory in Game 3 on Wednesday. The Oilers even the Stanley Cup Final at 2 games apiece after rallying for a 5-4 overtime victory over the Panthers in Game 4. The Oilers became the first team to come back from a 3-goal deficit in the first period of a Stanley Cup final game. Edmonton looking to take a 3-2 lead for Game 5 on Saturday night. The Mets extended their winning streak to 6 games after sweeping the Nationals. New York topped Washington 4-3 in its series finale from Queens. Jeff McNeil and Brandon Nimmo each went deep. The Mets are leading the NL East and will host the Tampa Bay Rays for a 3-game set beginning tonight. The Yankees sweeping their series against the Royals after shutting out Kansas City 1-0 in the finale. Paul Goldschmidt went for 1 for 2 at the dish with a pair of walks. New York is leading the AL East after winning 3 straight. They visit the Boston Red Sox, a rematch for a 3-game set beginning tonight at Fenway. And J.J. Spawn is sitting atop the leaderboard after the first round of the U.S. Open. Spawn shot a 4 under 66 and leads the field by 1 stroke. Thriston Lawrence is alone in second at 3 under par. Siwoo Kim, Brooks Koepka, and Sungjae Im are tied for third at 2 under. Emiliano Grillo, Frederick Lacroix, and Sam Bairstow will be among the first group of players teeing off round 2. Your WIBX News Time, 7:09, 54 degrees under cloudy skies. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
I was mentioning lead-free Mohawk Valley, lead-free
remember.
Utica. Did you remember me?
Yeah, I remember that.
And then you remember I had the wrong copy?
I do remember that
And
as
I
well.
immediately went into a New York Sash commercial. It was the weirdest thing. The website you should be looking for is leadfreemv.org. And lead exposure is a terrible problem for children. It can harm a child's brain, nervous system, speech, hearing, learning, and behavior. And the Utica area is worse than most places in the state. So the goal is a lead-free Mohawk Valley, a lead-free Utica. So go to leadfreemv.org for details. If you're a landlord, a homeowner, or a renter, there is help out there, and oftentimes you can get assistance and get the problem solved without any out-of-pocket money. So this is a great program, Lead Safe Utica. Go to leadfreemv.org. Quickly, before we break, I want to bring in Tom Hyland from Utica Mac. And Tom, good morning.
Good morning.
So I have to say, we've been talking about this for what, about a year?
2 years.
2 years now.
2 years, yes.
And you had this this program go into effect here, which prevented you from selling gas-operated, diesel-operated trucks.
That's right.
It was forcing you to sell. What was the deal? You had to sell.
We have to sell 1 electric truck before we can sell 10 diesel
And the
trucks.
problem is, none of these construction companies, none of these big rig companies want an electric Mack truck.
They don't want any electric truck, not just Mack
Correct,
truck.
right.
But I see Mr. Butler laughing out of the
Well,
corner of my eye.
Yeah, they talk about Trump and too much government influence when you do a private business like that.
You have to hold your breath for a second. I know that might hurt you, but hold your breath. This happened in California.
That's right.
And it was a bill that went through the House and went through the Senate.
That's right.
Stopped states from requiring companies to buy electric.
That's right.
And yesterday, I saw this. The minute I saw this, I'm like, we're going to have to get Tom, because yesterday President Trump signed it into law.
Yes, he
for
did.
California, which means it's applicable for the rest of the country.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
How did it affect your business? I mean,
Well, let me give you a little background.
This is terrible.
This is terrible. So in 2021, New York State adopted California Air Resource Board's laws to regulate their own emissions on vehicles different from the federal government's EPA. And in order to do that, they needed waivers. So the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate voted to revoke the waivers. They were House Joint Resolution 87, 88, and 89, not only on diesel trucks, or on electric vehicles for trucks, but also cars. So this affects the car dealerships as well.
Well, I also think, I was thinking about this morning, I think this is going to apply to school buses.
I think it is too. I haven't looked into that yet because I've been very involved in trucks.
Well, listen, you're basically talking about the same vehicle, and you're talking about the governor saying it's really the same thing. The governor's saying by 2035, all school buses must be electric. Well, that is not going to fly.
No, it isn't.
Not with our weather, with our terrain.
Infrastructure.
It just won't happen here.
That's
and
right.
the even National Grid has said the infrastructure is not here.
That's correct.
So I think this decision will apply to school buses as well.
I think it will too.
Yeah.
I think it will too. So President Trump signed it into law just about noon yesterday.
Yeah.
And the floodgates are open.
Have you sold anything yet?
5.
You have sold 5.
Yesterday.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yesterday.
Wow.
Good stuff.
It takes months for us to quote a truck and get customer approval.
So you were probably waiting. So you're not a customer approval, but you were waiting for
the factory as well.
For government approval.
And government approval.
Yeah, at this point. So it is just crazy. So
it's been a long fight.
It has been a long fight.
I don't like politics.
I know. I know you don't. And
I'm sorry, Mark.
And you've had to go to, I mean, you've been to Albany on this. You really have been one of the leaders.
So the grassroots
industry leaders
effort for this started in Marcy, New York.
It started right here.
I can't believe that California and New York State took the lead on this.
You can't believe it.
I know. What a shock.
I think the grassroots effort started right here in the studio.
I believe it did.
I believe it did. So there you go, Mark Bottler.
Be a part of history, Mark.
Part of history today.
You finally did something positive.
That you agree with.
Yeah, so that I agree with.
All right. Tom Hyland, Utica Mac.
70 years old.
Are you?
The anniversary for
I was
That's what the sweatshirt is.
You're not 70 years
no.
old. Oh,
yeah,
you just celebrated
70 years.
I'm like, damn it, you look good for 70. 70 years old, the business, which was started by your grandfather.
My grandfather, yes.
Utica Mac. So what a great week for you to get this news, where you can now sell trucks again.
I can breathe.
You can breathe. And I also think it's very important to note that the New York State is still one of the toughest when it comes to making sure these combustible engines are clean.
That's right.
And so many laws have been passed. This is not your grandfather's diesel engine.
Oh, no. Oh,
so
no.
it is a completely different world.
Yes. Even 10 years ago, the trucks are 99% cleaner than 10 years ago.
Think about that. And you know when there's a truck that's not operating properly because you can smell it.
You can see it and
you can see it.
Yes.
If it's operating properly, which most Mack trucks always do.
Well, of course they do.
It's amazing how we've been able to make these vehicles clean.
Yes, it is.
So, congratulations. You can
Thank you.
Enjoy a weekend for a change.
You want to join me? God bless President Trump.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You two can have your little powwow.
Sorry, Bill.
Thank you very much. Well, listen, in this case, it's huge.
How did your screening go?
It went very well.
That's good.
I am moving in the direction of it went well. That's all I'm
good.
gonna say.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tom Hyland, Utica Mac. Thank you. All right, I'm going to keep it going, Davey, because I want to bring in Congressman John Manion. Congressman, good morning. And, well, you've made a real bit of a news story out there this morning.
Well, listen, Keeler, I'd rather not be in the news. You know, what we need in this country and have had for a very long time is congressional oversight. And when the president and his administration exceeds their executive powers, then members of both parties should be willing to stand up and express their displeasure with that. And there's a long list of things where this has occurred, and it continues to happen and to more extreme level. And the people that I talk to in New York 22, whether it's areas where I got more votes than my opponent or less, they all express the same concerns to me. And, as what we've seen occur, yes, my colleague in the Senate, Alex Padilla, went to question the Secretary of Homeland Security, and a U.S. senator in his own state in his own office building was put on the ground and zip tied. And I'm always going to tell people the truth, and I've been telling the truth for years and since the beginning of this, and people are terrified. They're terrified. They're terrified of where this country is headed.
And listen, I do want to say that I've heard from both sides on this today, on what happened yesterday. And I have people that were finally Manion is stepping up, and he's challenging Republicans to do the same. But I've also heard the opposite side of that as well, the people that did not like what you did. So what do you say to those who say this is embarrassing for Congress that we're going through this? They can't seem to get anything done because we're so divided. What do you say to those people who weren't happy with you yesterday?
Yeah, I represent a district where there are many more leaders in my district, and the same in the New York State Senate, that are Republicans, and I've worked with them well. But what we cannot have, what is bad for this country, what is bad for our children and future generations, and which is unprecedented, is a president of the United States who is defying the rule of law, who, when the Congressional Budget Office says that this reconciliation bill is going to raise the debt, he attacks the Congressional Budget Office, which is nonpartisan. When a judge applies the law and does not rule in his favor, and judges have ruled in his favor in regards to these executive orders and other actions.
Well, the appellate court in California just did.
Yeah. The vast majority have not. He attacks the judge. That's un-American and unprecedented and dangerous, and we continue down this dangerous path.
Listen, I've heard a couple of reports out of what happened in California, and I realize there's a lot coming out of California that is real. There's a lot coming out that isn't real and that has been distorted on Los Angeles. But they're saying that the senator went in. He was not wearing a Senate pin. He was not identified. That NOM and security did not know who he was, and it just looked like a regular person charging the podium, and that he was taken down not because he was a U.S. senator, because they did not know he was a U.S. senator. How do you respond to that? And then and some saying, by the way, that this was a setup, that he was setting up security to take him down to create this moment.
What is happening at this moment in our country? We've had the arrest of my colleague in Congress who was trying to provide oversight at a detention center. She was charged with assault. We've had a senator in the office building who everyone in the video hears him say, "I'm Senator Alex Padilla." This is a small piece of a much larger puzzle that is continuing to being built, that is based on the defiance of the rule of law, the replacement of inspector generals and joint chiefs in the military with loyalists, actions by the president creating his own meme coin and stable coin to benefit himself and his family members, using his position of power, and not just raising campaign funds, benefiting personally, and using that action to provide access to him. That is authoritarianism. That is not the United States of America. And if you look at an article in the Wall Street Journal today, there is a headline that says, this is America is losing sight of its political culture. This administration has repeatedly engaged in unprecedented acts. And you know what? My Republican colleagues, some are true believers, but they're legislators. They're educated. They know it. They know it's Congress's role to provide oversight. So there are not hearings happening when the President of the United States is profiting off of his position. That is corruption, period. So we can talk about an action in Los Angeles, but this is what's happening to our country. The water that is being carried by the Republicans who should be providing oversight is Trump's water, and that water is poison to this country. We, for months and years, have talked about this lurch towards authoritarianism, and we are watching it happen in real time. In real time. Yeah.
I will. Have you had any conversation with Representative Lawler, who, by the way, is a moderate in Congress?
That's right. That's why Mike Lawler is a smart guy. I've spoke with Mike Lawler right after the Trump administration started, after Inauguration Day, and I asked him if he thought the systems would hold, and he said yes. And we had a conversation regarding that. Well, that was 4 or 5 months ago, and the systems are breaking.
Yeah, well, you quoted him yesterday saying America is falling apart. You believe America is falling apart?
We're gutting the government workforce illegally, by the way, right? We are breaking collective bargaining agreements. America's standing as it regards to research, we're cutting funding all over the place. This president is taking an action to keep press away, or like what happened yesterday and what he has said, to try to stop funding for different press organizations. So these things are not the will of the people, because I talk to Trump voters every day who say, I did not ask for this. Our standing in the world is not better than it was 6 months ago. When I speak with small business owners and large business owners, the uncertainty of tariffs and trade policy, which falls under congressional authority, and the president has been found to be using executive powers that are not appropriate and applying acts that are not relevant in this case, and judges have ruled on that. Judges who have been appointed not just by Republicans, but by Donald Trump. So I will tell you that my experience when I'm at the grocery store, when I'm talking to people at Memorial Day parades, they're terrified because they're seeing unprecedented acts occur over and over and over again, including the blanket pardoning of people who stormed the United States Capitol, if we can compare that to Senator Padilla, stormed the United States Capitol to interrupt the pillar of democracy, which is the peaceful transfer of power. And that is not what the people of this country wanted, including, I believe, the majority of Trump voters, and definitely the vast majority of people that live in New York 22.
I will tell you, I'm getting a lot of reaction, by the way, from a lot of people that I'm not going to I'm not going to read, and I'm looking at Mark Butler to the left of me. However, there are Republicans who absolutely agree with you and feel that Trump is moving towards more of an you know what I'm saying? They are Republicans who walked away from the party. The problem you have, however, is that when you look at polling, President Trump's numbers actually have gone up since the action at the border and the arrest the arrest of non-documented citizens. His numbers are going up. How do you convince the rest of the country that this is a problem when the rest of the country, in terms of a majority, seems to disagree with you.
I'm going to talk about the area that I represent, and I've run since 2018. Donald Trump is not popular. His type of politics are not popular in New York 22, the places that I've represented. So he does not have more people in New York 22 approving of his politics, his actions. Is anyone saying that these actions are not authoritarian? Because by definition, they are.
Yeah.
So I'm not, listen, I'm here to represent the people of this region, and I'm going to continue to do so. I'm also a former educator, and I'm not partisan. Folks, authoritarianism is bad for the children and grandchildren of staunch Republican supporters. And I represent those people too.
Yeah.
But it's my job to let them know that they should be very concerned when there is a lack of oversight, when there are actions. I mean, just the crypto piece alone is unprecedented, beyond unprecedented. That basically on the day of inauguration, the President of the United States releases his own currency.
I want to ask you finally about tomorrow. Tomorrow is Flag Day. It is also President Trump's birthday. There will be many protests around the country. No Kings protests. There will be counter demonstrations that will occur throughout the country as well tomorrow, and that should be an interesting day. However, Washington, it'll be very interesting. Your comments on the big parade that is coming tomorrow.
Well, there's also, an article in that's out there today that I just referenced that says America is losing sight of its political culture. And in that article, one of the resonating phrases is, "We don't do that. We are the strongest country in the world. We are the greatest country in the world. But what we don't do is what places like North Korea do, which is put our tanks in the streets and march them down so that we can show that we're the toughest." Some of the statements that the Republican has said are, extremely unique to the statements that American presidents have said in the past. So what I would say is, again, this is an unprecedented act. I'm proud of our military, and I support our military. I have had multiple members of my family serve in the military. I hold veterans fairs, multiple veterans fairs a year. I've secured funding specifically for veterans, including mental health services. I'll be participating in events for active military and veterans in the next few days. So I support them. But we, as a country, have not put tanks in the street and marched them down. Now, it's the president's prerogative to do so, and that is what he has decided to do. But for me, we have been the country that we are because we don't have to stand there and do such an obvious show of force, because the world already knows that we have the strongest military in the world.
Congressman John Manion, we appreciate the time. Maybe you and Congressman Lawler will speak today. That might be possible.
Well, Mike Lawler and I have spoken many times in the past. And, if Mike Lawler gives me a call, I'll pick up the phone.
All right. Congressman, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Keeler.
All right. Have a great weekend. Congressman John Manion, I have a lot of comments on it, and you as well.
Well, I just think there was a little bit of deflection. He didn't really address what the conversation was about does he justify his behavior and what he did.
Well, I disagree with you on that. I think he absolutely said he justified it. He just told you why. He just told you why he did it.
Putting tanks on the street.
Listen. He just told you why he did it, and that he would do it again. I'd say that's taking ownership. Whether you agree with what he did or not, I don't think he. In his defense, I don't think he avoided answering the question at all.
Well,
now you can vehemently disagree with him, but to say he avoided the question, I'm sorry, that didn't happen.
But his argument is that civility and all of that in the Congress, it's falling apart. It seems to me like he's carrying a spear there. Then at the head of that. I think that's a little hypocritical.
That's a fair assessment.
And we go from that to tanks on the streets. I mean, look, I don't agree with everything Trump does. I think the ultimate.
Well, do you not feel that I asked him the question about the parade tomorrow?
Yeah.
That he answered the question. That's on me, I guess.
Yeah.
But there is a parade tomorrow, and it's a pretty big deal, and it's in the news.
Now, here in Utica, or are you talking about
in D.C.? Are you not following there's a
you know what? I don't even watch the news anymore.
There is a military parade tomorrow on the streets of D.C. That's what he's talking about.
My opinion, rather than
those are the tanks on the street that he's talking
rather than deporting illegal aliens, I think we should deport some of these journalists that
okay. Which you were one at some point. You were one of them.
Yeah, but that was the old days.
Okay, all right.
When we were
long before. All right. Let me break. I didn't think I was going to be arguing with you on this issue. I understand you disagree with him, and I get that, and I believe that a lot of people I'm hearing from today absolutely disagree with him, and that should be left for the voting booth, and at some point you'll get that chance in a good year and a half. You'll have that opportunity.
But I don't vote in the 22nd district.
You don't. You're not even in this district. I can't even believe you're so engaged, Mr. Butler. Oh. All right, stand by. We'll talk more about this.
All right. Okay.
I do have coming up County Executive Ryan McMahon. We'll speak with him. Also, I want to get a quick update on the Boilermaker. You know, it is now sold out, despite all the politics. So we'll get into that. And I'll get into some of these comments because I have a ton of them. And we'll do all of that and take phone calls. County Executive Anthony Pacenti coming up as well next hour on WIBX.
This station is brought to you by Tallman's Tire, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
When you're looking for auto and home insurance, call the Frigo Agency in New Hartford. Why? Because they're knowledgeable. They present you with options, plus they answer the phone. You get a real person when you call the Frigo Agency, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. No frustrating automated machines or recorded menu selections. Call the Frigo Agency at 315-797-8080 and discover customer service made with you in mind. The Frigo Agency on Route 12B in New Hartford, or visit them online at uticaRomeInsurance.com.
In life, we're often faced with difficult decisions. When it comes to caring for our loved one, the choice can be overwhelming. But amidst the uncertainties, there is one decision that stands out as an act of profound love and gratitude: choosing hospice care. Hospice care isn't just about medical support. It's about honoring the journey of those who've given their all to their families. It's about providing comfort, dignity, and peace in their final days, surrounded by loved ones. Choosing hospice is a way to give back to someone who has selflessly given their life to others. At Hospice and Palliative Care, we understand the weight of this choice. Our compassionate team is here to guide you through every step of the journey, providing personalized care that respects the individuality and dignity of your loved one. When it's time to say goodbye, choose Hospice Care. Choose love. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties. Visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call 315-735-6484.
When you need us most.
This station is brought to you by Tallman's Tire, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Now through June 30th, get up to $120 off 4 new Bridgestone or Firestone tires instantly at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair Centers. Whether you're in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, or Herkimer, their team of professionals are ready to serve you. Schedule your appointment today online at tallmanstire.com. Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Get the best tires for your vehicle at unbeatable prices guaranteed. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See store for details.
Looking for a reliable ride without the brand new price tag? Come to Steep Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer and check out our huge selection of Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicles. Virtually all makes and models, all backed by a certified warranty and low financing options. Right now, qualified buyers get rates as low as 3.9% for 36 months on popular models like the Chevy Equinox, Trailblazer, Traverse, and Malibu. Take the stress out of car shopping and receive the buying experience you deserve from your local family-owned dealership. You'll drive with confidence in a Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicle from Steep Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer. But hurry, these deals won't last. You must take delivery by June 30th. Together, let's drive to Steep Pawnee Chevrolet, State Route 28 in Herkimer, or online anytime at steeppawneechevy.com. All taxes and fees additional. Customer must qualify for top-tier credit through GM Financial. See salesperson for details.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
He knows when I put on my headphones. I can't hear what you're saying over there, Mark Butler.
Yeah.
Good. We'll get to you. We'll get to
mumbling.
you. You're mumbling and grumbling. Well, you are. Rob says you agree with everything he says. Glad Mark is there. No, I'm saying that when Mark said that he didn't answer the question, I'm saying no, he answered the question and doubled down on it. There was no evasion of the question. I didn't expect to hear him go so hard on Trump as he has. So to say that he didn't answer the question is, even you would agree, is not the case. You disagree with his answer. You got to get close to that microphone.
Well,
but just so you know, Rob is glad you're here. So
thanks,
go ahead.
Rob.
Yeah, he's on your side.
But he used international and national things to justify what he personally did.
I guess I said, what do you say to the people who feel you were wrong by doing that yesterday? And then it was grandstanding. I asked him that question.
Yeah.
And then he doubled down on it and said, this is what I have no choice but to do this because I'm standing up for the people in the 22nd. That's his answer. Now, you can disagree with someone's answer or agree with it, but if they give you an answer, I feel like, okay, there's his answer. Now, as you're listening to that answer, as a voter, although you are not, you're a voter. But
I'm a voter.
Not on this guy. You're an Elise voter in your district, Elise Stefanik.
Yes.
For now, anyway.
Yes.
You never know. Well, she may be running for governor.
Governor.
You don't know.
Well, I would still vote for her.
I understand that. Believe me. You believe me. I understand that. What I am saying is when, from my standpoint, is once an answer is given, if you believe so much in your answer and you're willing to answer the question, I respect that. Whether I agree with that person or disagree with that person, I respect you've given me an answer. Like you, I don't have to worry about knowing where you stand on a particular issue. Because you
well, thank you for that.
Make sure I know.
Yes.
And so does Rob.
Thanks again, Rob.
22 other people. Whereas Rich says amen to Manion. Richard is all in on Manion. So I'm getting it from both from both sides, even though I just got a roll of the eyes from you. That is unbelievable. All right, we are talking Boilermaker, and I'm not going to get into it with Mark Donovan, who is here in studio right now. Mark, good morning. Good morning. Davey, can you take care of this mic and move it down for me? All right, the word is on the Boilermaker. We're going no politics. The Boilermaker is sold out.
The Boilermaker 15K presented by Excellus is sold out. Yes.
That's great. Great news, especially when, a lot of events post-COVID, I think have really struggled getting back to even close to where they were. And the Boilermaker's getting there.
Yes, we're thrilled. And incremental year-over-year growth. Didn't really fully expect to go from where we were down to a fraction of that, right back to that. But each year we've been growing. So this year we set our cap 500 people higher, and we've hit that. And we'll actually probably exceed it because I think people do need to understand while it is sold out, if you're interested, your opportunities are still there because this is the time of year that people had registered back in August all the way up through today. They didn't train enough.
They're having second thoughts.
Injuries are the biggest ones because those who are training wrench an ankle, twist a knee. Right. So they drop down to the 5. So spots open up. So we encourage everyone to get on the wait list. And last 2 years we've done the wait list, and half of the people on the wait list have actually gotten in. And another quarter of those had the opportunity, but for whatever reason.
We are giving there's a chance for you to win a bib by applying on our app, I believe, here at WIBX. And there's the charity bibs as well.
So 7 of our partners this year, from Project Purple to the Humane Society, United Way, they all have some bibs left. So if you want to participate, A, get on the wait list, B, consider the charity bib. These are great organizations that you can not only get in and have a great Boilermaker experience, but you can help these nonprofits as well.
Love it. Am I correct in saying that there are Republicans, Democrats, and independents all running unified in the Boilermaker, as if in unison, as if they all agree? They're not even thinking about politics as they're running, it seems.
Majority leave their sports teams T-shirts at home.
They leave them at home,
which we're thankful for because this is not, this event is about coming together, not division.
Even today it can happen. Huh?
Could I wear a Trump T-shirt if I enter?
You can do whatever you want.
This is America.
Yes.
Right.
Well, can I tell you, he won't be running. I can guarantee that. So,
but I've been listening. He'll have his Trump underwear, his Trump hat, his Trump gold coins, his Trump $5 million card, his Trump sneakers.
Yes, he will have all that.
God bless America. Huh?
Yes.
God bless America. And then of course the post-race party. Everything culminates over to there at the end, and we're holding a national anthem contest at the end of the month, where we're going to pick somebody to sing the national anthem.
Yes, we very much appreciate all you've done for that last couple of years. It's been a great event. We've gotten some great talent. Not only is it for the singer on the big stage, which is obviously
but several others as well.
Right, we have other events, so come on down, and you guys will be announcing more info on that shortly.
All right, beautiful. Right. Thank you. Anything else you want people to know?
No. Yes, we all pray to Mother Nature. She rules the day.
This has been I don't know.
And she's been great to us.
This has been an odd year, though.
That has not escaped my my stress levels.
Yeah. Am I correct in saying it really has not, except for that 1 year a thunderstorm was coming in, it has not rained on the Boilermaker, I don't think at all.
There's been spits at various little times. Last year we had it a little bit, 2 years ago, a little bit prior to the race going off, and it turned out very nicely. Yeah. So Mother Nature has been looking down on us for 47. We hope continues.
All right. I love it. All right. Great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark Donovan. Quick break, and we're coming back with the county executive in Onondaga. There is a lot happening here. Micron, Chobani, the Turning Stone. There's so many big things that are happening for this area that can equate to jobs. And it's not just, for instance, in Micron, it's not just the Syracuse area. It's the entire region. And, of course, this may very well be something of a boost for Wolfspeed. We'll speak with the Onondaga County Executive, Ryan McMahon, coming up next to WIBX.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app with over 16 million subscriptions sold? Well, we thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. She's an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face, listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent?
Precio.
Keith's a real people person and a curious learner, so he loves Babbel's Culture Bites, full of insights and native knowledge about the language he's learning. Like what's served for Christmas dinner in Germany.
Glühwein, Weihnachtsgans und Christmasstollen.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
We're the power and power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
At Kubota, we want to help you deliver a job done right. That's why we want you to know that new Kubota inventory is arriving daily. You have work to do. We have the reliable, durable, and versatile lineup to help you do it. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power and power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
Now through June 30th, get up to $120 off 4 new Bridgestone or Firestone tires instantly at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair Centers. Whether you're in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, or Herkimer, their team of professionals are ready to serve you. Schedule your appointment today online at tallmanstire.com. Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Get the best tires for your vehicle at unbeatable prices guaranteed. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See store for details.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
You ever right in the middle of something? There I am in the interview with Manion, and I can't say authoritarian. I'm like, you know what I mean.
You agreed to repeat that word several times, didn't you?
And then Butler. And meanwhile, I've got Butler looking in out of the corner of his eye over there. I thought you were ready to take him out on the phone line. Speaking of authoritarian,
listen, I met him when he was here the last time. I think he's a gentleman. It's not personal. I'm just
politically, you're on another side.
Yeah,
okay.
But as I said the other day, I mean, we can meet in the middle here. We don't have to scream and shout on the floor of the Congress to get attention.
And there are a lot of people voicing their displeasure of the behavior yesterday. So,
yes.
But to say he didn't answer that question that's my argument with you. You said he didn't answer and he deflected. I'm saying he did not deflect.
He tried to justify it.
And correct. And because he's saying he believes in it. Now, one would say, well, you're trying to justify it. I'm saying he's not justifying it. He's saying I did it because I feel it had to be done. And whether you agree with that answer or disagree with it, Mr. Authoritarian.
There you go. You slipped it in again.
Slipped it in a couple times. Just, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you get so much per
apparently,
time you say a little money? I know there's always money involved.
I'm paid by the DNC to get that to get that in. On the line right now, this is a completely other topic, and to me, this overshadows Democrat, Republican, Independent, Liberal, Conservative all together. This is about an upstate New York thing and a real positive, as we've been watching in Onondaga County. At this new chip-making facility coming in Clay, Micron. It will be enormous and will affect all of us throughout the entire region. On the line right now is Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We've come on quite an interesting day, so we're going to try to stay focused.
They got to stop serving booze during House sessions.
I think you're absolutely right. You know what? Everybody get along until 2 cocktails. Then you know what happens.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. We just want to. I thought, we have so much that is happening. Like, for instance, the announcement of Chobani in Rome will affect Onondaga County just like it's affecting Oneida County and our surrounding counties as well. This chip fab opportunity that is coming to Clay is enormous. We just thought a little update and make us feel a little good, Ryan McMahon.
Yeah, no, I can hopefully help with that. So really good news yesterday outside of a little bit of some of the events that have overshadowed it, but Micron cut a new deal with the Commerce Department, which reaffirmed their commitment to building $100 billion of fabs in New York at the White Pine Business Park in Clay. Reaffirmed their commitment to create 9,000 direct jobs and 50,000 community jobs. And I spoke yesterday to the CEO of the company for 30 minutes, Sanjay, and actually I'll be meeting this morning shortly with their C-suite on plan execution. But here's kind of where we are with the construction, and you're 100% right. When you have a project of this scale, the largest private sector investment in one community in the history of the state and the country to date, it will impact the whole region. It will create opportunity for everybody, whether it's construction, whether it's technicians, whether it's engineers, whether it's expanding your medical practice because there's more people moving in. The spin-offs are just tremendous. And right now, in about a week, we will lay down the draft environmental impact statement, which if you're a football fan, that's like entering into the red zone. You're at the 15-yard line. And then that will set a timeline for 45 days for public comments to the impact statement. And we'll have a public hearing about 30 days into that process. We'll keep the doors open from early a.m. all the way to the end of the evening. And then really after that, we respond to comments and we take a hard look, make sure we didn't miss anything. And then we move forward with the environmental impact statement and kind of a decision of record. And we should have that process complete in October, which will position us for a groundbreaking for phase one construction, clearing the site and getting the site ready to pour down foundations and potentially build out a rail spur, all that happening in November. So so this is happening. I mean, for those of us who have been doing this, and I've been the one consistent. I've been in every meeting in this process. It's taken a little bit, but the impacts are going to be tremendous. And we're really creating. I think I heard some of your remarks. We're really creating the Central New York Semiconductor Cluster. Yeah. And what you're 100% right. For Wolfspeed, this will help Wolfspeed tremendously. One, when Wolfspeed's thinking of investing more in itself, our friends in Oneida County and Marcy and Mohawk Edge and Tony Pacenti, they can go and point to the fact that now it's going to be much easier to develop a workforce here because you already have this anchor tenant here, right? Yeah. And usually these companies cluster together. In addition to that, the supply chain. I've spent a lot of time doing international travel, meeting with companies internationally, hosting international companies, and we'll get a lion's share of a lot of those immediately opportunities, but supply chain is certainly in the mix for Oneida County, and the key is to continue to develop sites where companies can go. So it's a game changer for the whole region. I think you're seeing the throughway, with on Semi down in the Hudson Valley, Legacy IBM, then you got Global Foundries, then you got Wolfspeed, Micron and Onondaga, and we actually have an on Semi investment as well, an over $100 million investment as well. We think you'll continue to see more and more of these companies pop up, and high-tech manufacturing is going to be really the name of the game for our region moving forward as we have the natural resources to be able to compete with anyone.
Well, there's a national push right now, right, from the White House and the administration pushing to pushing to bring this manufacturing here to the United States. Well, here it is, right?
Yeah, it's here, and I know everybody was worried about Trump, but he from day one, I told everybody to relax, and I was right, and I'll talk. No problem saying that. This manufacturing is critical for our national security. Yeah. And Micron is the American memory manufacturing company, and the company is doing so well too. If you get a big project like this, and it's a company who's struggling, you wonder if it all comes to fruition, but Micron's biggest client is NVIDIA in these AI chips. Anything you have in your home or your car, any smart technology, I will guarantee you there's Micron memory chips in that. So the company's got a real moment to really dominate here, and that's why you see more investment in their corporate headquarters in Boise, and you see historic investment in New York. They're updating tools in Manassas, Virginia. So the company's doing really well, and that's the good news.
And if I can say, Wolfspeed is struggling as a company right now. This should be a boost, but if it isn't, you now have a facility that is up and running and is pristine and a room for growth. And with Micron sitting right there in Clay, it just makes that so much more attractive. Other facilities and to expand, that makes it so much more attractive.
It does. One of the things that people need to remember is what drives these companies first and foremost is sites. If you don't have a site in your community that you can do the manufacturing, they don't even look at you. It's really site elimination. And certainly, I know the friends at Edge really well. I see them all over the country, marketing sites, and there's sites in Oneida County, and Wolfspeed has a unique facility, and they have land there for expansion.
Yeah.
And so, I think this helps. I think this helps overall. And I think Wolfspeed, all these companies go through highs and lows, and hopefully this is just a low. And usually, if you make strategic investments in your lows, you come out stronger on the other end.
It is. I feel that the fact that we're all working together as a region, Tony Pacenti, yourself, others. I think that has been to make that moving forward has really been, I think, essential in the progress that we've made and what is to come.
I would agree. I know Tony really well. We worked together really well, and it was you mentioned the Chobani win. What a win! That's a fantastic win, and the supply chain being upstate New York, dairy farmers, helping solidify the family farm moving forward. It's just a huge win. So congratulations to all your listeners in Rome and in Utica and Oneida County, because that's going to change the game, and so will this project as well.
Ryan McMahon, pretty nice to be talking positively.
Yes,
it is all good. So,
congratulations, Ryan. That's great news again for the region. But could you do me a favor? Would you go down to Washington, go into the Congress, stand up and shout loudly, "Thank you, President Trump, for creating the conditions that allow this to happen"?
I think he just did that.
I missed it.
I think the president is, the reality is bringing back this manufacturing is important, and he's used tools to do that. And, I think overall, you're going to see this high-tech manufacturing repatriate here, and certainly the regulatory reforms that the White House is talking about is going to help big time. So more to come, I'm sure.
All right,
you speak
Ryan,
pearls of wisdom.
We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day. Ryan McMahon. We'll speak with County Executive Anthony Pacenti coming up next hour. We'll also get Hobica's free money question in there next hour as well on WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
This is a Fox News alert. Iran calls Israel's attack a declaration of war. I'm Dave Anthony, and the Iranian president vows there will be a powerful response, and Israel will regret what he calls a foolish attack as they've been firing drones that Israel's been shooting down.
Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal.
That's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Israel saying that it targeted Iran's nuclear capabilities as well as high-ranking military officials.
The strikes killed generals in charge of Iran's Revolutionary Guard and Armed Forces. Fox's Alex Hogan also reports from Tel Aviv.
This coordinated operation was carried out after years of planning between the IDF and Mossad. The mission included Mossad commando units smuggling vehicles of weapons into Iran, setting up a drone base in Iran, and then activating the drones this morning and using them to hit Iran's surface-to-air missiles.
President Trump will meet with his national security team this morning. He posted on Truth Social earlier, Iran must make a deal before there's nothing left. Fox's Rich Edson reads more of that from the White House.
I told them it would be much worse than anything they know, anticipated, or were told, with much more to come. The Trump administration stressing that Israel took unilateral action, that the U.S. was not involved in these strikes.
The president also posted this morning he saved L.A. while thanking an appeals court which ruled in his favor, keeping National Guard troops under his control in Los Angeles.
After a U.S. district judge called the president's move illegal and ordered him to return control of the troops to California Governor Gavin Newsom by this afternoon. The Trump administration asked the Ninth Circuit to intervene for what it called an extraordinary intrusion into the authority of the president, who sent troops in the wake of protests against his immigration crackdown.
Fox's Lillian Wu, the sole survivor of yesterday's plane crash in India, says he can't believe he's alive. America's listening to Fox News.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/policy. That's ethos.com/policy.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Will Mahmoud Khalil be set free today? A federal judge has given the Trump administration till this morning to appeal his ruling to release the former Columbia graduate student the U.S. is trying to deport, accusing Khalil of supporting a terror group, Hamas, for leading pro-Palestinian anti-Israel protests at Columbia in New York City. Now, also this morning, there's a hearing for the alleged gang member controversially deported in March and then returned to the U.S. after a Supreme Court ruling.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia will appear before U.S. Magistrate Barbara Holmes as the courts decide whether he will be held as he awaits a trial. He was recently returned to the U.S. from a prison in his native El Salvador to face human trafficking charges. Prosecutors allege Abrego Garcia is a member of transnational gang MS-13 and has helped smuggle undocumented immigrants into the U.S. Defense lawyers are expected to argue that Abrego Garcia is not a threat and should be released. The hearing is set for this morning in Nashville. Protests are expected. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
On Wall Street, Israel's attack on Iran may drag down the stock market. Dow futures down more than 400 points. On the ice, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals all tied up.
After the Panthers took a 3-goal lead into the second period, Edmonton rallied before Leon Draisaitl played the hero once again in overtime.
Draisaitl throws the net, score! Leon Draisaitl in overtime. The Edmonton Oilers tie the series 2 games apiece.
That was courtesy of TNT as the Oilers defeated the Panthers 5-4, and the Cup final is now a best-of-3 series. It was Draisaitl's 4th overtime goal of the playoffs, and the series heads back to Edmonton for Game 5 on Saturday. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
The second round of golf's U.S. Open is underway at Oakmont in Pennsylvania. J.J. Spawn, a 1-stroke lead after the first round. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica. Commercial Drive in Yorkville right now, 58 degrees under cloudy skies. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up next. State police have released the cause of a crash on the thruway that left 15 people hurt. Troopers say a van was heading east near Salina yesterday when it was hit from behind by a tractor trailer after missing exit 36 and trying to move back over. The impact caused the van to roll over several times, and everyone on board needed treatment for non-life-threatening injuries. The tractor trailer driver wasn't hurt, and no charges have been filed. People are expected to spend $24 billion this year for Father's Day. This would be a record amount, according to the National Retail Federation, up more than 7% from last year. 3 out of every 4 people surveyed said they plan to celebrate the event in some way. This year on June 15th, average spending is expected to come in at just under $200. The Northern Lights are returning this weekend. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says the aurora borealis will be shimmering across the northern U.S. Saturday night because of a geomagnetic storm, is when a solar flares affect the Earth's magnetic field. The colorful light display should be visible from Idaho to New York and is most likely to appear after 10 o'clock tonight. Hopefully, we will see some cloud break because that seems to always happen whenever we have the aurora borealis. Fancy that. A Long Island elementary school nurse has been reassigned after wearing a jacket with the word ICE on the back of the school's Superhero Day. The Amityville Union Free School District in Suffolk County confirmed the move in a statement, saying the staffer had an acronym on their clothing that was perceived by some as offensive or inappropriate in the educational setting. The president of the local Teachers Association told Newsday the nurse at Northwest Elementary School, a K-2 second grade building, had the acronym ICE on the jacket Wednesday, adding she was shocked by the nurse's clothing. The nurse is now working in a non-school setting. And a sleep expert is sharing tips that a golf star uses to get a good night's sleep. George Svintescu says Rory McIlroy makes sure he does not eat within 2 hours of bedtime and takes health supplements, including magnesium. The sleep expert says McIlroy also wears blue light blocking glasses after 5 p.m., cuts caffeine off at 2 p.m. If you work in radio, you know that's impossible, and takes a nighttime bath. He also sleeps in a cool room. The health expert says incorporating even just a couple of McIlroy's methods can go a long way to ensuring a good night's sleep. Your WIBX News Time, 8:08. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
We may squeak out another dry day today. We're starting to see the clouds increase. A cool morning. This afternoon, partial sunshine, 73. Now, change coming in tonight. A few showers after midnight, mid-50s. North Country, a little cooler. Saturday, mainly cloudy. Just a few showers. Not a washout, 70 degrees. Sunday, a chance of showers, 72. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently 58 degrees under cloudy skies. Let's take a look at sports. Brought to you by the IBEW 43 Local Sports Desk. The NBA Finals are set to resume tonight. The Indiana Pacers will host the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 4 in Indianapolis. The Pacers hold a 2-1 series advantage following a 116-107 victory in Game 3 on Wednesday. Indiana can take a commanding 3-1 series lead with a victory and move one step closer to the team's first NBA title in franchise history. The Pacers have not lost back-to-back games in 3 months, and they look to notch a second straight victory on their home grounds. The Thunder will be looking to even up the series and send the series back to Oklahoma City. Is 6-0 following losses since early April. The Oilers even the Stanley Cup final at 2 games apiece after rallying for a 5-4 overtime victory over the Panthers in Game 4. The Oilers became the first team to come back from a 3-goal deficit in the first period of a Stanley Cup final game. Edmonton will be looking to take a 3-2 lead in the best-of-7 series when it hosts Florida for Game 5 Saturday night. The Mets extended their winning streak to 6 games after sweeping the Nationals. New York topped Washington 4-3 in its series finale. Jeff McNeil and Brandon Nimmo each went deep. The Mets are leading the NL East, and they host the Tampa Bay Rays for a 3-game set beginning tonight. The Yankees, they swept their series against the Royals after shutting out Kansas City 1-0 in the finale. Paul Goldschmidt went 1 for 2 at the dish with a pair of walks. New York is leading the AL East after winning 3 straight. They visit the Red Sox for a 3-game set, a sweet rematch tonight at Fenway Park. The Buffalo Bills mandatory minicamp is officially over. Tight ends were on the showcase for the final day with quarterback Josh Allen finding Dawson Knox and Zach Davidson for scores and Dalton Kincaid looking sharp. The team breaks for the summer with training camp opening July 25th. Jets cornerback Sauce Gardner hopes to stick around for a while. The 24-year-old said he and the organization have been engaged in contract discussions and that his main focus has been on being the best football player he can be. Gardner has had his 5th option exercised in May, so he has 2 years remaining on his rookie contract. He would not say if he wants to surpass Texan star Derek Stingley Jr. as the highest-paid corner. Police are looking to arrest a former NFL star on attempted murder. The Washington Post reported on Thursday that Antonio Brown has a warrant for his involvement in a shooting at the boxing event In Miami last month, police say the 36-year-old was detained at the time. Brown last played in the league for the Bucks in 2021 after spending most of his 12-year career with the Steelers. And J.J. Spawn sitting atop the leaderboard after the first round of the U.S. Open. Spawn shot a 4 under 66 and leads the field by 1 stroke. Thurston Lawrence is alone in second at 3 under par. Siwoo Kim, Brooks Koepka, and Sung Jae Im are tied for third at 2 under. Emiliano Grillo, Frederick LaCroix, and Sam Bairstow will be among the first group of players teeing off on round 2. Your WIBX news time, 8:11, 58 degrees under cloudy skies. WIBX 95, WIBX 9.
Warner Sales and Service, building relationships, building trust.
This is Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Mow like a pro with Hustler Turf Zero-Turn Mowers. Hustler mowers are designed to be maintenance and service friendly for the everyday homeowner while not sacrificing the build and cut quality they're known for. From the heavy-duty frame to the welded steel deck to their trademark smooth track steering, Hustler Turf Zero-Turn Mowers deliver professional-grade cut quality for a perfectly manicured lawn. It's your chance to be the envy of your neighborhood. Come see us at Warner Sales and Service on the Greenway New London Road in Rome, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona. And we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at warnerss.com.
Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
This station is brought to you by Tallman's Tire, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Now through June 30th, get up to $120 off 4 new Bridgestone or Firestone tires instantly at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair Centers. Whether you're in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, or Herkimer, their team of professionals are ready to serve you. Schedule your appointment today online at tallmanstire.com. Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Get the best tires for your vehicle at unbeatable prices guaranteed. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See store for details.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Whitesboro and Clinton Fit Body Boot Camp. And this summer, we're running a summer school. But don't worry, this one's way more fun. It's for teens and college students 16 and up who are home for the summer and ready to get stronger, healthier, and more confident fast. High energy workouts, a positive vibe, and the results to match. All in a fun, supportive environment. Spots are limited, so grab yours today. Summer school at Whitesboro and Clinton Fit Body Boot Camp, where we make sweat and success go hand in hand.
Hi folks, this is Rob Hilton. Your family is your greatest treasure. Is your estate plan ready to protect them when it matters most? At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we understand the importance of getting it right. That's why we offer a free review of your current plan. Together we'll assess it and provide honest feedback to ensure it truly works. No cost, no obligation, just confidence and peace of mind. Let's prepare for the future together. Schedule a free review today.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
On Friday's Guy Benson Show, Miranda Devine joins us. She just interviewed President Trump. We'll talk to her about that. Ross Kaminsky attended a major event in the aftermath of that horrible terrorist firebombing in Colorado. He'll fill us in on that experience. And Josh Krausauer on a lot of political news in a jam-packed week. All that and more on the Friday edition of The Guy Benson Show.
Guy Benson, airing at 7, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Hey, GPO Federal Credit Union is here to help you plant the seeds for a stronger financial future. If you're thinking about buying your first car, they say no cosigner, no problem. If you know someone who's doing a first-time loan for a vehicle or a first-time loan for a home, GPO can help. Their lending team is ready to guide every step of the way. And if you want to build your credit and your savings, they can help as well. Their Save and Boost credit loan helps you do both with on-time payments and improve your score while growing your savings. And this month, GPO is offering free credit reviews at all branch locations. No appointment needed. Stop in and get real guidance on how to build or repair your credit. Because at GPO, they're not just talking about accounts and rates. They're helping people grow personally, financially, for life. GPO Federal Credit Union, your journey, their commitment, federally insured by NCUA membership eligibility required. See the branch or gpofcu.com for full details. And think about this. Maybe you're downsizing, Mr. Butler. Maybe you're thinking about, we're going to spend a little time in Florida. In Sarasota, River Hills can help as they continue to grow, handling all of upstate New York, including the Adirondacks, River Hills, with offices in Barneveld, Little Falls, and Utica. To the north in Copenhagen, in Newport,
New York.
An office in your hometown. And now the amazing Gulf Coast of Florida in Sarasota, handling Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island, some of the most beautiful parts of the country. And it may be a home there in the wintertime and a home up here, like let's say maybe in Newport. In the summer months, because it gets hot down there.
Oh, boy. We're right on the West Canada Creek, cool breezes.
Always a cool breeze.
Yeah, that's right.
And the fishing and the kayaking. You just can't beat it. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills. Yes, they do sell homes in Newport, New York.
They
and
do.
In Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island. They can help you. Call them today at 315-896-1009. And I've had such a morning. I'm so far behind. Do you mind if I just keep going?
Keep going.
You know, because you're in Herkimer County.
Yes.
And in order to determine what's going on in Herkimer County,
everybody needs to know that.
You need to go to one website, herkimercountyny.gov/events. Everything that is going on there through the summer months, into the winter months, every single day of the week, there's something happening in Herkimer County. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds in Frankfort, you'll find the world's largest yard sale. Over 150 yard sales in one place at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds. Very cool. Davey, it starts at what time? 8 in the morning?
8 o'clock, Bill.
8 o'clock, Davey. Thank you, man. Explore the Herkimer Diamond Mine. I was there this week.
The Diamond Mines?
They're rebuilding that whole restaurant because they had the problem with
the roof caved in with the snow.
But the place just looks pristine. It's one of the best campgrounds in all of the country.
It is.
At Herkimer Diamonds. Herkimer Cheese. You may want to take a boat tour along the historic Erie Canal. There are things happening from Little Falls to Frankfort to Old Forge all the way down into Mohawk.
Oh.
No?
Yes, Mohawk, too.
Yeah, that's Mohawk. And
Lovely
even Newport.
Yes.
And even Newport. It's herkimercountyny.gov/events. Herkimer County. Where, did I say something wrong?
No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine.
You authoritarian. Herkimer County, where history, commerce, and beauty collide. It is all happening in Herkimer County. It is all happening in Herkimer County.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Mark Butler is in as a guest host here this morning. And anything you want to promote just while we have you right here? Is there anything you're promoting?
I think you've covered it all very well.
Okay.
Bill, you're doing a great job.
Don,
did I say that before?
You said that out of one side of your mouth.
I did want to add, speaking of authoritarianism,
okay.
Tomorrow is Flag Day, and we also this year are celebrating the 250th anniversary of our armed forces.
The armed forces,
and
it is. You really aren't following the news. You are. You in retirement.
I really am not.
You have said I can't do this anymore.
It's depressing.
Yeah. You just don't. Like, you did not know there was a military parade in D.C. tomorrow.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
No.
That is, that's got to be an awesome place to be. Just shut everything off. Don't even pay attention. That's a good place to be. Except you keep very much attention to everything going on in Newport.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's a full-time job.
It is your job. Let's see. This is something. Imagine saying this to someone. Donna, do you have anything to promote?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, of course
I
she
will
does.
see you Monday too.
First of all, Donna, I would like before you, I'm going to require that before you promote anything, I need you to speak about our mutual friend Rick Lewis, who we learned yesterday passed away.
I can't even believe it. I knew Rick back in '81 when I started doing all this music stuff. And
Rick was in a band. He was in a band. In fact,
Roger Wilcow.
Roger Wilcow. In fact, Nancy Ford sent me a photo of him back then. I'll be posting that later today. It's really, it's just a if you're in the arts world or media or, certainly the Rome cultural scene. Everybody knew or came across Rick. So very, very sad. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great talent. He knew what he was doing. He was actually one of the first guys with Carmen Carmonica also. But Rick did music videos in the area, and he was he sent us down to Connecticut. We did a Michael Bolton song, and I don't know how we got this guy on a boat. He took us all over the lake, and Rick was, oh my God, I just can't even believe it, Bill, when I heard that.
Yeah.
He was too young.
67 years old. That's young.
Kid.
No doubt about it. So.
You just saw him. I just saw him not too long ago.
Listen, I just, Rick and I were just talking last week. He was getting rid of some television equipment, and I said, well, I don't know where you can get rid of it, but I know I would maybe buy a little bit. And so he was putting a list together for me, and then I didn't hear from him, and we now know why now. So very, very hits home, very sad, a great contributor to this area and to the arts scene in Utica, Rome, and the Mohawk Valley. So.
Absolutely. He will be missed very much. Absolutely.
Not so much that you aren't going to try to plug something. What do you want to plug? What are you plugging?
Okay, so first I would love to ask your listeners to please pray for Sunshine tomorrow, because we have a huge event for cancer survivors and anyone who has ever dealt with that horrible disease, cancer, and you know yourself how horrible it is.
Well, I know that it can be very, very bad. Yes, I've been very lucky.
Well, my dad died last July, and he had cancer.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why Screaming Nurse is doing up this event. It's the American Cancer Society Relay for Life of Central New York event tomorrow, June 14th, over at Lake Delta Park in Rome. It's a totally free event, totally free. And they will have the thing, the relay, all that going on all day.
All right.
But especially from 3 to 5, we've got the Enchanted Broom Crew. They're dancers. They're fantastic. And then mixed in with them about 3:20 or 3:25, I am honored that Leanne McCoy has choreographed a line dance for my dad's song. I wrote him a song.
I know you did.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is really hard for me.
Yep, I understand.
I wrote him a song, a country line dance song, and she has choreographed that. And I will be up with the Broom Crew and two girls, Debbie and Kristen from my band Screaming Nurse, and we'll be doing the John John song. And then Spencer Spells and Tara Lynch. Spence is the guitar player in my band also.
All right.
They are Goldie Rocks. They will be entertaining after the Broom Crew, and then from 4 to 5, Screaming Nurse will be rocking the stage. We do 80s rock and roll, really popular stuff. We do Venus, all kinds of fun stuff. And watch out for maybe you'll grab a beach ball we're throwing out.
Okay.
You never
All
know.
right. And that is tomorrow. I hate to cut you short. I know it's a big event. It's very personal, but I've got 9 people waiting in line. So listen, we hope
Lake Delta Park.
Hope you do really well. Lake Delta Park tomorrow. And what time are you performing?
We are on 4 to 5. But if they can get People can go 3 to 5. They're going to get a block of fantastic entertainment, and it's free.
All right, good.
Let's out for tomorrow, everybody.
Okay, thank
you.
you.
So much, Bill.
All
Hey,
right, Donna.
I'll see you Monday.
Yes. Okay, cool. Oh, there's more Monday, right?
Wait.
Yep. Oh, good.
Can't wait.
I can't either. Oh, I'm going to be thinking about it all weekend long. I'm really going to be thinking about it. All right. Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Andrew Dominio, how things don't change, right? Isn't that how we say it? The more things change, the more...
I didn't know if it was a best of segment or anything until...
Yes. Well, listen, it's personal for her. She lost her dad, and that's very sad. But you're calling quickly about Rick Lewis.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of give public condolences to everybody that knew and loved Rick as we did. I mean, I would hear from him on a weekly basis, and I just was totally shocked. And it was appropriate that I heard, unfortunately, the news from Nelson's Facebook feed, because when he and Rick were in, especially in the Christmas shows, I mean, you just couldn't help but smile. I mean, the kind of zany energy, not only the passion that Rick brought for the Rome Capitol Arts Complex, but just, entertainment and radio and media. I don't know, it was always a fun time, and I just was shocked to read that yesterday. I really was.
Nelson Rudiak, you're speaking of, and they were very close, and he would often come in, and Nelson would perform along with him. But yeah, very sad, and Rick would always he'd always have something that he was doing and promoting and creating, and he will truly be missed. So, yep.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to give a shout out to Rick E. Lewis and to all the people that knew and loved Rick like we did. I mean, it's just another loss in Central New York. We can't keep experiencing these.
Very sad. All right, Andrew. Thank you for piping in. Thank you.
All right, Bill. Be well.
Okay. Andrew Dominio. In studio, I've forgotten. Is it pronounced? And because I never want to mispronounce anybody's name. Is it Alicia or Alicia?
Alicia.
So the sh sound.
Yes.
Okay.
My father got creative with spelling, but it's Alicia.
Nice. Very nice. So in studio is Alicia Pendasulo. You're with the Forest Hill Cemetery, and there is a celebration coming tomorrow.
Yes.
So does it involve a military parade? No.
No,
it doesn't.
not this time.
No.
Maybe 175 years ago,
Might have.
there was a very large parade, not military specific, but so we're humbling it down a little bit this year with a scavenger hunt. But we are having a really fun community event from 4 to 8 tomorrow.
So it is the 175th anniversary celebration of the Forest Hill Cemetery.
Yes.
And now it's funny because Mr. Butler over here, you have to understand, once you get his age, the word cemetery scares you a little bit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right? I mean, right?
Yeah, it does.
You think 6 feet, and you start thinking, but it is really like a walk through history.
It really is.
I mean, it's not really. It is a walk through history. When you read these headstones,
yes,
you're reading pieces of our history. It's incredible.
We call it an outdoor museum because you're really walking around, and if you can almost forget you're in a cemetery. It's just a beautiful park with a lot of monuments that you can enjoy. And they really are gorgeous, and the people there made such a difference for our area. So yeah, there's like Flag Day events. I know there's a No Kings rally. There's a lot happening tomorrow.
There's
but most
the anti-No Kings rally, I
the
believe.
Authoritarian.
Is there an anti-too? Everybody just play nice, make a difference. That's great.
It would be nice.
But
otherwise, if it doesn't work out, you got a place for them.
Yes, you go. You have your angst during the day, and then come relax with us. We have soft drinks, charcuterie, and a scavenger hunt. We'll help you relieve some stress and explore some pretty grounds.
And I believe, if I am correct, there is a website where people can go.
ForestHillCemetery.org, where you can learn more. Our Facebook has information. If you can't come, there's still a link to donate. We're ultimately, yes, celebrating our anniversary, but still continuing our fundraising efforts for our chapel. So we're trying to raise $150,000. Right now, we're at about $27,000. So every little bit helps.
So it's really, we were at a cemetery recently in Niagara Falls, and you don't. When I'm thinking about this, it's kind of like with you. It's like we're having the Forest Hill Cemetery in for what? What?
I
no
didn't
offense.
say
No,
that.
I
did
understand.
not say
offense.
that.
You're
No
like,
offense.
are they selling tombstones?
But when I was there, and in their chapel, which is in Niagara Falls, is where the ceremony was held. It was a small ceremony, but it was held inside the chapel, and it is restored. And what they're able to do there because of that is really, really important. And by the way, Rick James is buried in that, of all people. Remember Super Freak, Davey? Yeah. You got to look up, just go on, pardon me for this, just go on YouTube and just search Rick James, bitch. And there is a whole thing that comes up about an argument that Rick James had, and the whole, I mean, it's really fascinating to watch. Nonetheless, where I'm going with this, and I went all the way around the block to get here, and I apologize, is you're a younger person. I don't know how old you are, but you're younger.
35. 36 soon.
And this is so important because otherwise these cemeteries, these archives that we have that are part of our history will just wither away to
really
nothing.
Well said.
Without someone from another generation coming in and finding some importance in it. Like you come in very excited about this.
I know.
And I cannot tell you. Like I grew up in south of Mohawk on Vickerman Hill, and as you walked through the past the farm at the end of our road, and you kept walking out in a pasture is an old cemetery with people that is just fallen over. And when you lift up the gravestones, these are people who died constructing the Erie Canal. I mean,
it's terrible.
And it's innocent, but it's been left to ruins.
And
that's what you're
kind of
preventing.
Sparks the intrigue for me,
Yeah.
yes, is, I mean, growing up, my mother always thought it was important, and I think it was just kind of in our nature. If we were visiting our grandparents at the cemetery, you would clear off an overgrown spot just out of respect, because, you know, once it's covered, it's covered. No one's going to know to look there.
That's right.
Most of these cemeteries don't have a lot of funding to have an incredible amount of staff that can go there and perfect everything.
It's highly regulated by the state, and there's a lot to this. I know my parents are very involved in a cemetery that we have family in, and what happens when they're no longer doing that?
Yes.
And it takes someone who's 35 or whatever to take an interest and preserve this history for us.
Well, and I'm sure you remember a few years ago when New Forest Cemetery was abandoned. That was a real tragedy, and it woke up something in me. I always cared about cemeteries. I was always kind of active cleaning them up, but underground. Like, that was something I did if I had time. But it definitely woke something up in me to realize that if you are in a city in New York State and a cemetery gets abandoned, that the city is not responsible. They do not have to take care of it. The Parks Department doesn't just inherit it, where if you're in a town or a village, they could potentially take it over. So the last thing we would ever want is someone to not choose to be buried in a beautiful cemetery in the heart of our city just because they have fears like that. So the Preservation Foundation is really here to give people comfort and salvage this history.
When you travel to other places like Europe, where the cemeteries are much older, you realize that people for centuries and centuries have been taking care of these cemeteries and preserving that. So it's extremely important, number one. And then when you come back, which I'm assuming we'll have you back, there's two guys that I learned about recently who traveled the country, and they pick a cemetery. And they recently were at cemeteries in New York State. They pick a cemetery and they come in and completely volunteering. They go in and help clean up a cemetery, and they mow it, and they clean off headstones. It is all voluntary, and they travel the country to preserve cemeteries like this one. So look them up, and you never know. You might reach out to them, and they may make a trip here.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So, okay. Anything else you want people to know? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 4 to 8. Suggested donation $18.50, but you can give more or less. We just want to see you. Come help us celebrate our anniversary.
Okay. Good stuff. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
That is the Forest Hill Cemetery, Alicia.
Yes.
Thank you so much. All right. A couple of quickies. I want to tell you about flooring that we're dealing with right now. Thank you. It's in Sarah's, and we, of course, I've gotten hardwoods, and on top of that, some amazing tile that, the best selection you're going to get is with Sal and his family and everybody who works at Incera's Flooring Outlet. It's the largest flooring inventory in all of Central New York, which means you're going to get a better deal. You're going to get the best price. They guarantee the lowest price on Pergo Extreme. It's a 60-mile radius where you get the lowest price, and you always get 6 months interest-free financing. Incera's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and incerasflooringoutlet.com. And if you're having some neck pain or back pain or a pain in the neck like Mark Butler is, people of all ages, he's been tough on me today, Tony. It's been really...
He's in a very authoritative mood today, Tony, so be careful.
He had me so frustrated I couldn't say authoritative. It was... I don't know. He can be tough.
He can.
A lot of people say, I carry your water. He does nothing but complain about it, if you remember. From
we're going back
Canada.
to the water thing. That was a good one. That was a very good comeback.
That was an oldie goldie right there, but a goodie. People of all ages can experience pain, knee pain, and hip pain. A lot of times, this is caused where? From your feet. It is a real thing. And I got to say, the people at the Good Feet store can help. Commercial Drive in New Hartford. You can call them, 315-999-3910. You do not need an appointment, but you will be surprised. Their 3-step system with inserts, strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. It works. I've gone through the procedure myself. It's no obligation, a free fitting and test walk, but it can change your life when it comes to pain. 4630 Commercial Drive, New Hartford, the Good Feet store. 315-999-3910.
Incera's Flooring Outlet is now an elite Cortec Floors dealer featuring beautiful and durable LVP flooring by Cortec.
Buy with confidence from Incera's because Cortec floors are backed by a residential scratch warranty.
Cortec flooring is 100% waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof. Luxury vinyl planks and tiles that look beautiful in any space.
Incera's Flooring Outlet has experience in floor covering that rivals anyone. So you get the best advice, unequaled service, and the area's largest inventory at an affordable price.
Incera's Flooring Outlet will meet or beat any advertised price on Cortec or any flooring they carry.
Remember, you always get 6 months interest-free financing for qualified buyers at Incera's.
See why more people buy from the big store.
Incera's Flooring Outlet.
Incera's Flooring Outlet, River Road, Marcy, and incerasflooringoutlet.com.
It's AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our high-rate checking account has an unprecedented rate worth celebrating. Get started at ameriq.org/high-rate.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. A Utica man was sentenced to 20 years behind bars on child pornography charges. The U.S. Department of Justice said 31-year-old Dustin Smith was sentenced in federal court for distributing, possessing, and receiving child pornography. Smith pleaded guilty to the charges last July and admitted that while on parole in 2022, he used a cell phone to access child pornography and exchange material with at least 2 children. Upon release, Smith will undergo a 15-year term of supervised release and must be registered as a sex offender. He will also pay $100,000 in restitution and forfeit his cell phone. There will be several protests across central New York this Saturday against President Donald Trump. These protests, called No Kings rallies, will take place outside Fort Stanwix's National Monument in Rome, the Memorial Parkway and Genesee Street intersection in Utica, the Hamilton Village Green, as well as Herkimer, Syracuse, Old Forge, and Ithaca. The rallies are part of a nationwide movement as a day of action against what they say is increasing authoritarianism from the current administration. Organizers say everyone is welcome, but counter-protests and demonstrations are also expected. Senators from both sides of the aisle are weighing in on yesterday's incident involving California Democratic Senator Alex Padilla at DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's press conference in L.A. Video shows Padilla being forced to the ground and handcuffed. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said watching the video sickened his stomach. Massachusetts Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren said it's looking more and more like a fascist state out there every day. Alaska Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski called the incident shocking at every level and said, "That's not the America I know." Senate Majority Leader John Thune said he wants to find out exactly what happened before he comments. And South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said Padilla got what he wanted. He's on TV. The Northern Lights are returning this weekend. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says the aurora borealis will be shimmering across the northern U.S. Saturday night because of a geomagnetic storm, which is when solar flares affect the Earth's magnetic field. The colorful light display should be visible from Idaho to New York and is most likely to appear after 10 a.m. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
We may squeak out another dry day today. We're starting to see the clouds increase. A cool morning. This afternoon, partial sunshine, 73. Now change coming in tonight. A few showers after midnight, mid-50s. North Country a little cooler. Saturday, mainly cloudy. Just a few showers. Not a washout, 70 degrees. Sunday, a chance of showers, 72. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, Ray seems a bit on the optimistic side, and I hope he is absolutely correct. 59 with a little bit of sunshine, haziness peeking through. County Executive Anthony Pacenti is next on WIBX.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually in fact true. How would you like up to $2,000 of free windows? When I say $2,000 of free windows, I mean $2,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $2,000 to get $2,000 free. You just get $2,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of the restrictions are income-based. And you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440. And they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Let me do a couple of quickies. I'm way behind today. We've had a big news day. County Executive, good morning. Anthony Pacenti.
Good morning.
We've had a very big news day. If you need concrete work, it's Brank Construction, another Herkimer County business.
What a segue that was.
It is a beautiful, yes. Considering you've been trying to put concrete shoes on me all morning long. Stone.
Let's settle down here, guys.
I knew we should have brought you in earlier
You should have.
as a moderator. Stone walls, block walls, cellarway entrances, basement floors. If it's concrete and masonry work, it's Brank Construction. Call 315-894-3481. And if you're dealing with pain, neck pain and back pain, wrist, arthritis pain, this actually really does work. And it's Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. It's FDA cleared, non-invasive, drug-free, and they have a $99 new patient special. Just call them today at 315-725-8427. Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. In studio right now is County Executive Anthony Pacenti. I'm going to start, but I do want to ask you about the Rome mayor's situation, which has been quiet pretty quiet this week.
That's good.
Yeah, that is probably good, right?
That's a good thing.
So
that's a good thing.
Your take. And
well, look, I wasn't there. I mean, and it always amazes me in these events in which everybody knows what happens or what happened, and none of them were there.
Yes,
and nobody was there. Everybody that says what happened was not there. So I was not there. I have talked to the mayor, Jeff, I'll leave it at that. I believe, his statement in terms of what, what he says. And I just think, we have a lot more to be focused on than something like this. And it's unfortunate, but passions, take over sometimes.
Well, there is some, there's a lot to focus on right now.
There is. And you've talked about it. You've been talking about it all morning.
All morning.
You had Ryan on.
Yeah.
A little while ago, Ryan McMahon, that is.
Yes.
Not Ryan Nobles.
That was yesterday. Yeah.
But, there's, and that's where I think we got to keep our eye on the ball. And on the prize.
So before we get into, because you've got, it's really quite amazing. Number one, I don't know what happened to the workforce that we all had, and now all of a sudden there are so many help wanted signs. It's crazy. But that's going to be the big thing to tackle going forward.
It is.
Whether it be you're going to have high-tech jobs, and we will benefit from that. Construction, manufacturing jobs. I don't know where we're getting the concrete. But we're gonna need to. I'm assuming Brank.
Yeah.
There you go. You have the turning stone. What they're doing. Micron and Chobani. I mean, this is amazing.
So on the construction side, remember though for a minute what we built during the worst time in the last 30 years, or the last 50 in terms of the pandemic. The hospital was being built.
Hospital garage Nexus.
Yeah. And Wolfspeed.
Yeah.
Wolfspeed was being built.
Yeah.
During that time period.
Yeah.
You had $3 million, in the case of Wolfspeed, $1 billion project.
Yeah.
You had the hospital at $600-700 million. You had Nexus at $72 million. So that was all being done, and we did it.
Yeah.
And
during a time where it was hard to get.
During a time when it was impossible, and you had restrictions, you had mandates on different things from the state and everything else.
But what a wonderful problem to
have. But it worked.
Yeah.
And we did it. And that's why I'm confident that, with the Chobani building, with, Turning Stone. I was out there yesterday because we had an EDGE meeting out there. I mean, it's remarkable.
Can't believe how fast
I saw the event, or what will be the expo. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so, we now the challenge is now the jobs.
Chobani aside, there's been some great development at the Griffiths Park. Congratulate you guys on that.
There has. So I think now the challenge is the employment piece. But they're there.
Right.
We're convinced.
And it does mean I feel, and this is I feel like it's a real positive that we're going to have to attract people from outside to come here.
Well, we are, and I'm more, and I get asked every day, where are you going to get the employees and all that? I mean, I'm confident on the employee side. I really am. I'm nervous about the housing side. I think that's going to be the bigger challenge for us. And we had another discussion. We've been every day literally talking about housing and what the next steps are and how we go forward. And I'm concerned about that. I think that's going to be the challenge because when people do come from outside, or they, whether it's temporary and they need someplace to stay in the meantime before they purchase or do a long-term lease on a condo or a loft or condo or what, townhouse or whatever. I mean, we're going to need to do that. So those are the things that concern me even more.
We're going to be, and in the beginning, it's all those construction jobs.
It is.
You'll see a lot of the hotels that are going to be packed
but
up.
The workers, when I was out at Turning Stone a couple of weeks ago, I mean, every single trade person from the construction came over and about Chobani and ready. As soon as they're done with Turning Stone, they're ready, or even in between, because some of it's going to all start. We went out to bid on the first round of pieces for the infrastructure at the Triangle at Chobani site. We opened bids the other day, so work's going to start there. We got another bid coming up in a couple weeks, and then after the road, everything. I mean,
I'm not sure everybody has paid complete attention because there's been a lot of information out there, but this is expected to be operational by fall of next year.
Fourth quarter of 26.
Yeah.
So the bids that we have in place, just on our end,
this
is not counting the actual plant build.
Right.
I mean, but the work that has to be done on the road, on the infrastructure, on the water, on the sewer, on the electrical. I mean, some of it's already begun, but we've got bids scheduled literally every month, up until right up through October for work that'll be done.
Yeah.
Immediately and all through next year.
And I just think the part of this, when I say bringing people from out of town, there are two types of those people. Mm-hmm. There are people that you're able to recruit that are looking for a change in their lives or a new start. But then there's also the element of how often have you heard over the last 60 years people whose children have grown up, gone to college, and couldn't find a job here. That is about to, it's already changed. So there is that element of people who already have contacts to the area who have decided, it's time for me to come home.
It is. And then you have the secondary employment or the spousal employment or the partner, in which they are they may be working in Syracuse, or they may be working in Herkimer, or they may be working in Madison or wherever, and so now there's opportunity here. They come to work here, or vice versa.
Yeah, and that is and speaking with the county executive in Onondaga, Ryan McMahon. It is nothing today for somebody to be working in Syracuse, or for someone in Syracuse working here. The travel, you're 30 to 45 minutes.
We're spoiled. I mean, because to get to I come to Utica every day, and takes me 20 minutes, 20 minutes.
And some people might like to select a charming little village.
He's trying to sell Newport, by the way.
Of Newport.
I had to get the plug in.
Of Newport, of course.
Not Newport, Rhode Island, Newport, New York.
New York.
Yeah, home of the largest yachts.
Could be the capital of Herkimer County.
It could be
the cultural center of Herkimer County.
Actually, it's those. What is interesting is those communities like Newport and Bridgewater, all of these different places that were just epic during the 1900s with these beautiful mansions. I mean, there's just so many great properties out there. The problem you do have, though, is a younger worker today a younger family today tends to want a different. They aren't looking necessarily for that picket fence.
No, they're not. I mean, and the difference is, that's what, you were, at least my generation, we were brought up, you're going to go, get married by the house.
I hope by pointing at me, you say we're in the same generation. Okay, thank you.
Of course I am.
Yeah, you're way older, but same generation.
More mature is the word I prefer.
But I mean, that was the standard, but now it's different because everybody wants their freedom.
Yeah.
But then as they move into into life, so to speak, and add a child or two or three, may be the case. Then it's time.
It changes.
And it's time for the house. And look, the housing market is so crazy. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, houses don't even go on the market anymore. I mean, the minute you talk to a realtor and somebody knows it's listed, it gets bought
Fast.
And
And usually
and the other thing, back
over
to
asking
our
price.
time, right? We were always taught, well, offer them 5,000 less.
Yeah.
Exactly
Or
right.
10,000.
You can't do that
Offer them
today.
10,000 less. And they'll take the deal.
Uh,
now you got to offer them
offer 'em-
5,000 more.
Offer them cash. They'll take it. Now it doesn't matter.
Now you've got to offer them more.
You do.
Because otherwise they won't take it.
Quickly, because I got a few things to get in before I get out of here, because we've been so behind. Could I bring in, just grab those headphones just so you can hear? I have to make this short. I got to make it short. But Ryan McMahon just wanted to say a couple of quick things. Ryan, you're on with the Oneida County Executive.
Well, hello, Bill, and hello, Mr. Pacenti.
All right, quickly.
Doesn't sound like Ryan.
You want him to talk about what here?
Well, I'd like to ask him about the improvements at Murnane Field at Donovan Stadium in South Utica.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'm going to hang up and let you listen to his answer, okay?
Okay, bye,
All right.
Bill.
Thanks. Obviously, big
Murnane Field.
improvements.
Yeah, everybody thinks Murnane is a city facility or park. It's not. It's owned and operated by the county through the Sports Authority. And
Has it always been?
It has been.
Okay.
Well, way back, we took it from the school district. It was owned by Utica City School District way back in the 70s.
Okay, I did not know that.
And since that time, the county has assumed ownership. When it started, kind of remember when the Blue Jays and the Little Falls Mets came at that time. It was in that same.
And that was a
period.
horrible facility at that time.
Right. And so
today it's a completely different
well,
world.
and we needed to do more. So that's why the decision was to go to turf, because we couldn't, because Proctor still plays there. MVCC plays there. We have American Legion. We have the Utica Blue Sox. We have other teams that come in from time to time. We needed, the drainage was terrible. If it rained in the morning, you couldn't play for 2 days.
This change, and by the way, for a high school season now, it's so difficult.
But the decision was, look, we've got this field. We need to invest in it and make it work, and make it better. And so we've got more to do. I mean, we started with the turf, the railings, the netting, all the bullpens and batting cages. Next year, hopefully, scoreboard. New bleachers, new clubhouse, or new not clubhouse, new press box.
Yeah.
And
who knows what that could attract?
And concessions. So
who knows what that could then attract?
Yeah, it could. I mean, but we want to. The point is, it can be used more, and we know that. We know that by doing this, it changes. It does change, because we used to get the Legion tournament all the time.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten that. And
here's the other part. April, May have just been so wet and snow, and they can't get games in. You add the turf, they can get those games in.
Well, the other day it poured for like an hour before we did the press conference on the field.
Yeah.
And as soon as it stopped, we walked on the field. Nobody got wet. I mean, nothing was. It was drained. It was beautiful. So more to come.
Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
And,
you too, Mr. Butler.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to be with you.
We'll talk more next week then.
Good.
All right, County Executive Anthony Pacenti. What a day, huh? What a day. I had to deal with you.
I'm going to be watching that parade tomorrow, though. I'll tell you that.
You got to turn that on. I'm glad I could tip you off to that.
You might see Bill there.
I'll be there. I'm actually driving
a tank.
Yeah, I am. So, Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle is a tremendous value, and Steve Pawnee Mazda would invite you in to check it out. They offer a 160-point inspection and a balance of the 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. If you need a lower payment, say, Rick, I need a lower payment. And as he says, let's make your deal on a certified pre-owned Mazda from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. Steve Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. And portions of the program today brought to you by the official coffee of this radio program, Daylight Donuts in New Hartford, and the Falcon Clinic. If you're in need of a new family doctor, or you're looking for a second opinion, the Falcon Clinic has you covered. Dr. Shemileski, Dr. Zielinski, and others all under one roof in Washington Mills. Call 315-507-4751 for the Falcon Clinic.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
This is a Fox News alert. Israel continues to attack Iran. I'm Dave Anthony.
They were going to initiate another attack like October 7th. Once we gathered the information about that, we decided not to wait.
An Israeli ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, also tells Fox they had to stop Iran from making nuclear weapons.
The mission included Mossad smuggling vehicles and drones into Iran, setting up a drone base in Iran, and activating the drones this morning to hit Iran's surface-to-air missiles. At the same time, the IDF deployed 200 aircraft. These were mainly fighter jets to hit roughly 100 targets in Iran. All of this aimed at hitting the heart of Iran's nuclear program.
Fox's Alex Hogan also reports from Tel Aviv the strikes killed military leaders, including top generals. Iran's been firing drones in retaliation that Israel's been shooting down.
Iran's president responding, saying that